Hello, my beautiful friends. We are live. Thank you so much for being here. I'm gonna put in the cool entity clearing uh, photo. Where did it go? Can't can't. Every time I drink cacao, it's a few almonds. Okay, here we go. Uh huh. Everyone's AIs are recording. Do we have real people with us? Welcome, welcome, guys. This is the ultimate entity clearing launch for the 8-8 portal. I need to write a note not to drink cacao before I call. I throw in almonds. Does anyone else here drink cacao? I throw in almonds, put it in the blender, and what ends up happening is little chunks of the almonds end up. Because, of course, my impatient Aries self doesn't wait long enough till they get dissolved, even though it's a really good blender. Okay. Admit all. Please let us know in the comment section, what are you wanting to get out of this 8-8 portal Lionsgate activation? What is the number one thing? If we can wave a magic wand, make anything happen, what is that number one thing for you? And please let us know where you're tuning in from. Is this your first time connecting with me, or have you been, how long have you been part of the community? For those, and if we can see your beautiful faces, please share them. Gabriella, nice to see you. Linda Smith, we we weren't able to reach out to you. We misspelled your email on the last call. You wanted us to reach out. Were you able to reach out to us? If not, please private message me in the chat your email. I'll send it directly to my team. Good to see you, though. Sarah, nice to see you. New face, maybe. Mariusz, good to see you. Yes, brother. Anna, Gail, Natha, Nicole, Zoom user. It's a little, if you can move it, whatever, sideways. I can't see you. Jonah, nice to see your face. New face. Jill, new face. Nice to have you here. Brett, nice to see you. Maria, Michelle. Okay. Let's get into it. For those of you that don't know who I am, wants to skip having to click allow recording every meeting. Okay, that's some AI stuff. Okay, Dory, I'm too real. We've got people from Richmond, Charlotte, Brooklyn in the house, California, Ventura County. Oh, I loved it there when I was there. Okay, yeah, California. Okay, global clarity. Bonnie, you want the globe to get clear? Is that you want everyone on the planet to have clarity? We can make that happen. Just having fun. Okay. Northern California, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you all. Canada's in the house, UK's in the house, Bavaria, Germany, where the Illuminati first started, is in the house. All right, Philly, amazing, amazing. All right, all right, all right. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. First time, anyone raise your hand? First time seeing me? Yeah, okay. Just Sarah. Anyone else? First time? First time seeing me? Okay. So just to know if I need to go through the whole thing. Yeah, I've been nurturing my audience for 15 years, and it's so nice to have some new faces here. So let's get into it. My promise to you, first of all, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for spending your time and trusting in our process here to help support you, add value to your life. My guarantee for you is that you're going to leave this call more activated, more inspired, more clear, more empowered than where you are right now. That's my promise to you. As a if you're committing your time and energy to here, I'm going to commit that to you. So thank you for your time. I appreciate it. For those of you that don't know who I am, my name is Tarek Bibi. Old soul, Palladian, who knows what kind of galactic root that I stem from, but definitely as a kid, I was like, why did you, God, why did you send me here? Why is it so dense here? Why are people not loving? Why am I feeling everyone's pain and suffering? Very confused, very traumatized. Um, definitely felt anyone here, yeah, entity wise, I'm curious to know how many people here feel they grew up having entity experiences. Just put a quick yes, or yes if you grew up with that, and like how do you know you have some entity experiences? And anyone now currently experiencing any entity influence, you could say yes now, or just right now. Okay, tons of you. Okay, great. I'll share my story, and I'm sure you're not alone. First of all, the way I look at it, well, first of all, sorry, I'm bouncing all over the place. um, what we're going to do today is called the Infinity Healing Technique, and I'm the founder of it. It's been voted one of the most powerful healing modalities in the world by many veterans of healing who have been doing this from the 60s. And they find their way to the infinity healing. They get the results they want, even though they're high level healers. They have all these tools. They've done all the work. They've done all these modalities. And there's a reason for that I can get into. But basically, as a kid, bullied, put down, made fun of daily, uh, not just made fun of, put down, told I was not good enough, told I was a failure, told I'll never amount to anything. It was daily. Not only was it daily, but I don't know if you've ever had someone kind of push you, like verbal abuse or energetic or emotional. But it's like there's a limit where you I crack after that limit, and so every day that limit was I was pushed to that limit, and it's like a cracking point where I just broke down into tears. So that would happen every day, and so I'm really good at crying. so I literally sometimes will be walking or at events, and a woman even would be crying, and I'm like, you're not breathing, close your eyes, forget about everything else. Just like mastered the art of crying. I've also mastered the art of puking in my teenage years as I was trying to cope with alcohol. I'm an expert at literally one of my ex-partners. I met her and we really fell in love. She had an allergic reaction to peanuts on our one of our first dates. I'm literally in the washroom with her being like, no, squeeze your finger deeper. There's more in there. You're holding back. And that's how we fell in love. It was so messy and like cleaning up her mouth from all the saliva. But yeah, that's true love right there. Um, I'm just sharing random memories. Okay, so so a lot of trauma, um, and that's what my whole business is about. 15 years of basically helping you believe in yourself. How does someone that I work with go from being stuck, unemployed, to then being the person hiring other people in a corporation? Is me saying you can do it. Like there's a transmission that happens, and an Aries transmission is unlike no other. When you get that Aries transmission, you can do it. You end up believing in yourself, and when you believe in yourself, you can make miracles happen. So, wow, 63 people here. Wow, thank you so much. That's amazing. That's those are big. Those are good numbers. I just wished that we set this up so I don't have to approve every time someone comes in. Okay, so born in Jordan, so full Arab blood in this lifetime. I joke and say every lifetime I chose to be in a culture that's getting it the hardest. So past lives, Black, Native American, not during the good times. And now in this life, it's like all the countries, Syria, tons of refugees all over the place. That's where my mom's from. Dad's Lebanese. Lebanon's getting bombarded right now. His dad was from Palestine, left right before it was taken over and turned into Israel. Not getting political, just sharing that from the start we're bouncing around for safety, and it all started with granddad needing to leave everything, his home, his business. Yeah, Kiana, you're definitely an Aries. Good to have you here. Bonnie B, nice to have you here. A lot of Aries. March 24th. So I'm one of those cuspies based on Western. It's like when Pisces shifts into Aries. So I joke and say Alpha Omega because Aries is the beginning, Pisces is the end. All right, all right. Any fire signs in the house? Please let us know your signs. I'm obsessed, but I'm also learning to unsubscribe from the Aries program. I'm notorious for over talking, so take a breath. Let's all take a breath and let go. So as a kid, I remember I had bunk beds. We moved to Canada when I was 17. So bullied, made fun of, getting the lowest grades in school, thinking I'm a failure, I'm an idiot, I'll never amount to anything. Everyone's better than me. I'm the lowest of the low. God, why did you send me here? You know, I'm pretty sure there's demonic influences. Who here believes we've done that? We've tallied our audience who are a bunch of high level empaths, healers, light warriors. Who here believes that their traumas were basically the entity realm trying to get at you, targeted? Like it's not a fluke. The weakest person in your link. Yeah, Mariusz? Anyone else? I know it sounds wild, but we got like, yeah, great. There you go. So yes, yes, yes. Okay. Wild but true. So so like spiritual warfare is real. We know that, right? And when we're coming in here, they're like, okay, how can we not let this powerful being of light, this powerful spiritual warrior, how can we stop them from being their most powerful and impacting the most amount of people and making a positive difference in the world, or sharing your gifts, or whatever it is? Let's mess with their confidence levels. Let's let remind them that it's not safe for them to be seen. Let's start psychologically traumatizing them, emotionally, some of us sexually, to stop them from being their most powerful, right? So the hero's journey is we get put down, we go through that, and then for me it was like um, college, taking a philosophy class. It's a miracle I made it into college because I failed high school twice and lowest grades and didn't care for school, and had a hard time focusing. And I'd look around and be like, is everyone seriously into this class? Like, am I the only one who's finding this weird? Pray to God, being like, why did you send me these demons? And I think specifically I was like, why did you send me Lucifer to, like, it wasn't just demons. I remember saying the top head honcho demon. Like, why are you sending me the head honcho demon to torture me? Um, yeah. And I remember once I traveled to Shasta, I literally felt what an entity felt like. And that was the first time I had an aha realization that I'm not afraid. These beings are afraid. They're the ones who visit us when we're sleeping, right? So they're obviously the ones who are afraid. If they were not afraid, they would visit us right now in the daytime. Shield protect, shield protect. Right? So I was at Mount Shasta where there's a million paranormal experiences documented, right? Anyone been to Shasta? Mount Shasta? Yeah, very paranormal, portals, all that. Um, so many weird things happened just in the span of like 2 days. Like I saw a cult all wearing white, singing spiritual songs and kind of going into the mountain, probably to go into the inner earth or something like that, was my intuition on it. As soon as we got there was a guy taking video footage, and he showed us all of these UFOs flying in the skies, or whatever they are. And then I woke up 3 o'clock in the morning, where the veil is the thinnest, by the way. Oh, you grew up in Shasta, April. Huh? Let's pass it on. We're gonna pass this on to April to hear her paranormal experiences. So please let us know if you have one, April. So yeah, I woke up 3 o'clock in the morning, felt a presence, and um, felt pure terror, thinking it was me, but because I was still asleep, I had a moment to observe my body and its emotions, and I realized I was picking up on the entity's feeling. So I very empathically felt exactly what an entity felt, and it's pure terror, it's pure fear. And my whole body, without even trying anything, just auto magically, as a protective mechanism, was just filled with pure, I don't know. I just had tingles head to toe. I don't know if that, because they have technologies to, by the way, absorb energies from, like, let's say the biggest church in the US that has most amount of people, and they're peaking in terms of bliss feeling. They have technologies where they actually extract that and then use it for their own advantage, so that we go, oh, it must be a loving being. But so whether it was a technology or not, I just felt gold, like just shiver tingles, and I felt fearless in that moment. Yeah, loosh is the term. Loosh is how they harvest our energy. So that's a very important point. I'll finish mine. talk about Lush, get into the activations, do some one-on-ones. Promise. All right. So this is my point. When we remember who we are, if we could do one thing, if I had one wish, it would be for us to remember who we are. Because when we remember who we are, we realize what we're not. And in that moment, there was a very clear distinction. I'm like, that's you. You're afraid. You're this heavy, dense, or like you're this. Actually, they're less dense. They're on the astrals. You're afraid. I'm not of fear. Like I'm. Fear is not my essence. Fear is your essence. And when I remembered who I was in that moment, I'm infinite. I am, divine spark. Whatever words you want to use. I was fearless in that moment, and I had to banish that entity. I'm like, I had to get into that energy of like, you're not allowed in my space. I'm sending you down into the ground, activating my light body. You're not welcome here. Like you have to get into that energy. Um, or I chose to in that moment to just exercise that what I call ferocious love, because God is misunderstood, love is misunderstood. We need more stories like how Jesus flipped the tables. We need more of those examples, because for us we think spirituality is passivity. They did a big marketing campaign, smear campaign on that. That's what spirituality is, but it's not. We need mama bear stories, we need ferocious love stories, we need that sacred rebel archetype to be reactivated. Side note. Oh, snap. Give me 1 second. Left my yerba mate. Anyone here drinks yerba mate? Left it on the oven. Okay. So 15 years helping spiritual women and men thrive doing what they love. I dropped out of college when I took a philosophy class, when I heard the story of, I think of Socrates, who they told him, listen, you're influencing the youth too much. You need to tell them that you're lying, or here's a vial of poison. You got to kill yourself. And he chose to drink the vial. And that just activated me in such a way where I was like, wow, this person died for the truth, chose death over lying, is a truth warrior. And that's all I needed to have in my mind, because up until that point, school was teaching me how to think. And philosophy was the first time, it was an elective in college that taught me how. So I was told what to think, sorry. And then philosophy taught me how to think. First thing that I did when I started exercising how to think was to drop out of college and quit my job and go find myself and discover my purpose and mission. And I discovered healing. And I went out and who are the best healers, took their courses, took their programs, flew to Venice, actually, Venice, California, Ventura County, sorry, Ventura. Took a course there, and I literally remember seeing the teachers, like hundreds of students, and she's looking at every single one. And then I felt she looked at me, and this is what I heard telepathically in my mind. She's like, Tark, what are you doing here? You should be doing what I'm doing. So I was like, okay, I was still younger. And so I went and created my own modality called Infinity Healing, and I can't wait to share it with you guys. And I would say it's the most result based. So if you're desiring something, and please put in the comments, what's your number one desire? If we can wave a magic wand, make anything happen, what's the number one desire you'd like to have happen? And I would say it's the number one result-based modality out there. And we've trained only close to 100 infinity healers worldwide. And just a few days ago, I was talking to a woman who facilitates one of the biggest healing summits. And she's already had amazing results with this. Like we did a session, and she couldn't get a car at the time. It was like as soon as Tesla came out, and she had a hard time with her credit because of her ex messing up her credit. She was having a hard time for years trying to get a home. And literally next week, she sends me a video testimonial. She was in the trunk of the Tesla, which is in the front of the car. Her house is behind her. And she's like, hey, I did a session with Tarek. On the call, on the session with him, I got a call from someone who helped me. And now I have this car that she loved so much, the house that she loved so much. And then recently we reconnected and started working together. And literally 15, she's like, Tarek, it's, sales haven't been what they were before. I don't know what's going on. We pinpointed exactly the root trauma. So this is This is what we're going to do today. We're going to pinpoint, or if we hop on a breakthrough call, we can pinpoint your biggest root of the root of the root of what's stopping you from getting what you want. And this is the philosophy. If for your number one things, if it's not happening right now, it's not that God doesn't love you, it's not that you don't deserve it, it's not that you don't know enough information. My philosophy is, if you're desiring something right now and it's not happening, there has to be something that's stopping it from coming in. So I want you to imagine that you are a bucket, and God, source, universe is this infinite supply waterfall pouring down. Infinite supply, like you can have what you want right now. The only thing that's in the way is there's this filter, right? There's a filter on top of the bucket, and some of our filters are clogged. So even though source, God, universe is pouring infinitely, we may be getting just a few drops coming in, and we're like, why am I not worthy? Why am I not deserving? Why am I not good enough? So what the infinity healing does is it unclogs that filter in record speed. Because it's either a belief system: I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I can't be spiritual and abundant. Yeah, like money's the root, like money's the root of all evil. I mean, every TV show you grew up with, for the most part, almost every single one of them had subliminally, the rich people were the snobby people, they were the evil people, they were the conniving people. And there's an echo, right? You guys hear an echo? Yes. And the poor people were the happy people. So subliminally, subconsciously, I want to be, people end up thinking subconsciously, I want to be happy and poor, instead of um, wealthy or financially abundant and spirit and happy, or evil. Sorry. There's an option here to mute everyone. Okay, so I'm gonna do a group activation. Reactions, breakout rooms, cancels. Who here also is technically challenged? Participants. There we go. Take that. Okay. Yes, we can talk about entities and we can have fun and raise our frequencies. Did you guys know that was a limiting belief, that we can't do both, and we can. Okay, happy healed relationships, past relationship trauma. Yeah, so literally these entities are looking at us, and I really believe, because when I confronted the people who really affected me in the worst ways, I realized they were oblivious to how they impacted me, which kind of showed me, like, were these guys possessed? Like, possession happens more than we think of. It doesn't have to mean they turn into a demon, but it could just mean they have a 5-second explosion that messes us up, and then they forget that they did it. They move on, right? So it's a momentary. If you ever watch The Matrix, it's a scene where people are, the agents take over any human body for like 3 seconds, mess up the main characters, and then leave. That's what possession is, right? And from the entity's perspective, they just look at all of us like little puppets that they think they can go in and mess us up and then leave, and we end up blaming the other person. So loosh is the concept that the whole point of all of this, like, study the documentary Monsters Inc. I don't want to go too much into this rabbit hole because I spend hours and hours on my YouTube channel. You can type in Tarek Bibi, soul mission, Tarek Bibi, and then type in breaking free from the soul recycling trap or something like that. Tons of information there. I want to keep it focused on helping us clear our energies and the light body activations and all of that good stuff. So yeah, worked with a few people in the last few weeks, and we pinpoint that there's some negative influence, some entity, some ancestral karma that's being passed on. We had a client who I just chatted with today who left a psych ward majorly affected by entities. And the pharmaceuticals that were given were also connected to, we're helping people become more docile, right? The entities just want us isolated. They want us docile. They want us numbing out. They want us to continue. They look at us the way a farmer would look at a cow that they're like growing bigger and bigger, and they're like, we're going to get a lot of meat out of this, right? So that's how an entity looks at us. It's very important that just because that's how they perceive us, the truth is, this is where a lot of people are like black and white. Just because they want this planet to be a loosh farm where they harvest our energy, study the movie Monsters Inc., or study the Matrix movies, or all the movies that those Wachowski sister brothers have done. It's there's a scene in every one of those movies where they show you the reality of how the archons or the entities see this reality as a battery harvesting. But just because that's their intention, this is what the avatars in our past that we know of, and maybe some that we don't know of, and some of us are here to help change. Is we can consciously be embodied in this reality, free from archonic influences and dark entity influences, and we can have this reality be what it, the possibility of it being a love matrix, a divine matrix, instead of a fear matrix, right? So it's a virtual reality. It's a beautiful reality where we can manifest what we want. We can spread, our gifts. We can share our creativity. That's the possibility that a lot of these people who died in our history died for, helping us liberate ourselves and remember who we are, remember the truth of this experience. Okay, Anastasia, if I'm saying your name correctly, who are they? Sorry, which part of what I said were you referring to? Yes. Okay, so let's get into it. And I invite you for this group infinity activation. To first of all, how it works is it's source God universe's energy connecting to us intentionally, doing infinite things for us so that we can be our infinite selves. This includes letting go of limiting beliefs, letting go of emotions, letting go of fears, letting go of childhood traumas, contracts. Oh my God, the contracts. So we've had, so let me finish that. Contracts, vows, agreements, karmic loops. Like, guys, everything's a psyop. The new age has a lot of psyops. The religious programming has a lot of distortions. Like, it just breaks my heart. It breaks my heart when people are like, I hope this is my last life. And it's like, hope? Like, did you forget you're a sovereign being? Did we forget that we have some autonomy and authority? Like, did they really like beat it into us that we're insignificant and we don't have a say in the matter? You have the choice to decide if you want to come back, if you don't want to come back. Like, since kindergarten, we're like, listen to the teacher, listen to mom, listen to dad, listen to the school principal, and then you graduate and it's like, listen to your boss, listen to the corporations, listen to the government. The first thing that happened at 25, I had an awakening, is I started journaling, like, okay, my power, I've been giving it to school, to religion, culture, society, like institutions. And it's like, take back my power, and like, you can literally play this game of life and just see how much of your power has been given away subconsciously. Because as a kid, it's like, okay, Santa Claus is real, believe that, you go to hell if you're a bad person, like, I believe that. Up until age 7, there's no like security guards in the mind that go, let me question this. It just all goes in and creates the beliefs. And now here we are, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years later, and those programs have worked to control us, right? We want to do what we want to do, but there's a but what if this happens, right? So we want to reclaim what we're doing now collectively is we're reclaiming our infinite freedom. This is what my whole company stands for: reclaiming our infinite freedom, our infinite power, our infinite sovereignty. And with that, at least there's a chance, a higher probability, if enough of us get on board with that, we can choose that power that was given away unconsciously. um, yeah, like I remember sometimes I'll do a session and we pinpoint the moment where they gave away a lot of their power. We visualize all that power coming back, and then the phone's just like like the internet gets disconnected on their end, because that's how much power. I remember once doing a coaching session with my client. I'm like, my ex at the time, I was like, she keeps doing this thing and it's driving me crazy. And then she's like, what is it about what she does that reminds you of yourself? And I was like, and I just had a mind gasm, like a mind just shattering. And it was back in the day where I was like on the phone with her, and it's like like the power went out of my house. That's how powerful we are, right? So all these dark energies, entities are praying that we remain ignorant. They're praying that they have like all the strategies, give it away to religion, give it, okay, shit, people are waking up. Let's create a new age, which I call, it's like if we were all on the farm, the new age is like, maybe it seems like it's like free range. Like if we were chickens in little boxes, the new age is like, no. And it's like a more, it's like free range chicken, but we're still on the farm. So I want us to get completely off of the farm. And I'm not putting down the new age or insulting you, or if you're religious. I'm just saying that they have been hijacked and used by dark forces to kind of keep us in little boxes, keep us in fear. I've experienced the divine. I experienced God and the divine, and it was literally 2 hours of me saying thank you. Like I think I just said thank you for 2 hours straight, because it was a never-ending pouring of unconditional love. And like every part that I had where I'm like, but I did this and I'm not a good person, I'm not worthy, and it was just like washing every single one of those away. And that's, to me, is and when you truly experience God, um or source or universe, then 99% of their traps don't work on you, right? It's like when you were a kid and mom and dad are like, hey, if you don't do your homework, I'm gonna not give you cookies. But then you realize where the cookies are, and then you're like, okay, you don't do homework, they leave the house, and you find where the cookies are. It's like, right? Or if like we're all in class and the teacher's like, hey, if you're a bad kid, I'm gonna kick you out of class. But what if all the kids stand up collectively, hold hands, and go, well, okay, we're all going to leave together. Like that's what's happening. So it clears all these things energetically. All you need to do is say yes, right? Like infinite intelligence is all around us and every moment. There's not nowhere where God's source isn't. And um and it's waiting for our consent. So true divine forces honor our free will. Something is a false light when it's pushing an agenda or conditional. The other day I was talking to someone and they were like, oh, if I do this, then I get this. I'm like, nope, that's how black magic works. Source, God, universe, unconditional. Hey, you want this? No sacrifices needed. Just say yes, receive, bless your heart, enjoy, spread the wealth. So when you say yes today, you're allowing and I only work with source God because I've found there's so much middlemen, you know, false light beings pretending to be of the light, but are trickster, shape shifting beings, right? So I grew up Muslim, although I broke out of that. Uh, and My mom was Christian, so we would fast during Ramadan, which really taught me discipline. So I'm never in my life gonna say I'm starving. A lot of my friends are like, man, it's been 3 hours, I'm starving. I'm like, try not eating food or water sun up to sundown. That's you haven't done that, then you don't know what starving is. um and we grew up with jinn. So like if you watch Aladdin, the genie is based on a very known concept of like how in Christians say demons, like in the Muslim world and the Arab world, we're aware jinn are shape-shifting beings, right? And there's this whole in the movie of like you get grant 3 wishes, but there's like a catch to it. And as much as Disney made us love the genie character, right? Never had a friend like me. I always joke, and when people are like, what do you do for a living? I'm like, I'm the genie, but no negative consequences. I'm like half Aladdin, half genie. um, because literally that's what happens. People are like, hey, I want a life partner or a soulmate or 100K, and then they have it. It happens. But I was trying to explain to a client yesterday how there's a science to it, right? And one of my poems, I go, it's sophisticated science, but you can call it magic. Like I'm very grounded in my spirituality. For astrologically, it's Virgo rising, moon Pisces. Anyways, starting now, I invite everyone to get cozy, get comfortable. And I'm going to start us off. For those of you that don't know, I'm a rap artist, conscious rap artist, and every song has an activation. Any Leos in the house? Just raise your hands or just say yes. Hey, Jill. Happy Leo season. Nice to see you. Yes, yes. Where my lionesses at? So yeah, 5 albums. Every song has infinity healing silently encoded. Yeah, Michelle, Leo Risings. Yeah, sometimes the Leo Risings are more Leo than Leos. Like the Leos are like, yep, I'm a Leo. Leo Risings are like, yep, right over here. Put the spotlight on me. I love it. Yeah, in Vedic, everything moves sometimes further back. So I'm Leo rising in Vedic. Cancer Leo rising, beautiful. I love Cancer Leos because it's like the moon and the sun. You're like a force to be reckoned with. All right, enough about astrology. A lot of my friends are like, can we ask you kindly to not talk about astrology for the remainder of, of our hangout today? All right, so I'm going to start us off with a Leo anthem. It's one of the songs on, I think it's the Ascension 777 album or the Infinite Eye album, which I highly recommend. Just type in Indigo Prophet on all streaming platforms, and every song is going to have infinity healing and conscious music and conscious artists. And I love collaborating. And, one of my clients, Suze, just said she had a guy owing her thousands of dollars that he never paid her for years. And then she literally just listened to the latest song called Home, which has a nervous system healing for you to feel at home and root chakra, safety, security in a time where there's so much instability. And she said this guy reaches out after her listening to that song and says, hey, I owe you thousands of dollars. I'm paying you $500 a month just from listening to a song. So here we go. I invite you guys to listen to it as a transmission. Enjoy the video. It's Leo season. Let's get activated. Let's feel comfortable to be seen. And we'll go right into group activation right after it. Being bolder than ever, dreaming bigger than ever, claiming our stake in this world. Yes, it's okay for you to get yourself out there, to be seen, to be heard, to get on all the socials, to sprinkle your magic dust wherever you go. And also that Leo queen energy, king energy, raising your standards higher and higher, never settling for anything less than what you believe you deserve. So here you go. Enjoy the video and soak it all in. First of all, Mariusz, can you guys hear that? But did you? Yeah, okay, got it. Enjoy. Happy birthday to all the Leos. Here we go. Innovator, hater, see you later. I'm a creative generator, motivator, inspirator. I'm an elevator, take you to your highest destination. I can never be duplicated, labeled most hated. I'm an inspiring lyran, heart of a lion. I risk it all, I got 9 lives, killing them with kindness. Shh, be quiet, haters get behind us. You could call me highness. They mistake my kindness for weakness. Law of attraction, magic like The Secret. They say I couldn't be it, but they just couldn't see it. Could have been deleted, every challenge I completed. I am forgiven, never stay resentful. Basic is essential, stretching your potential. Even if they said no, I will be successful. I am influential and this is what I'm meant for.
I am the lighthouse for all the lost souls, guiding their way back home. Back home. I am the lighthouse for all the lost, guiding their way back home. Back home. Back home.
Shout out to all the Leos whose mission is to heal. In our networks, keeping it real. If you know your stars, then you know who we are. Not only guiding lights, but alchemy.
Did I get kicked out of Zoom? What happened? Yeah, I did. Did I get kicked out? Oh, okay. It just shot me out. Okay, we're back. So that was that. Let's get right into the activation. I invite you to I'll put that in the link below. I'll put it in the chat. I invite you guys to either lay down or sit comfortably. And like I said, this really helps alchemize our core traumas, limiting beliefs, core emotions, contracts, vows. The other day, I was listening to a podcast with a guy who specializes in working with entities. And he was saying in the dream state, they were able to find like an entity could just approach you in your dream and say, hey, here's an apple, here's some food, here's some water. And if you're in the dream state, like how many of us are consciously aware of our dreams? Like how many of us are lucid in our dream state? Most of us are not. So all it takes is one moment for this person to drink the water that was given to them. And it turns out it's an entity. And that was enough for the entity to go, you just gave me consent. You just signed a contract that allows me to mess with you. Like that's how sneaky they are. So we have to be, I will play a video after this. I want to make sure all of you have it. Just play it before you go to sleep. It's going to make a huge difference. I forgot to do it once, and literally I've had such great sleep the last bunch of, since the entity clearing program that I created. There's silent audios you can play at nighttime. Did anyone here listen to the silent audios? A lot of you were confused about it. Just show of hands. The silent audio, Mariusz, Bonnie, yeah, Marianne. So for those of you who are like, oh, there's something wrong with this audio, it's complete silence, right? So think about it. If I just go right now, I'm going to do it. I'm going to pray for everyone here that God source blesses you in all the best ways, but there's not going to be any words, right? I'm going to demonstrate. All right. So who here felt that? Raise your hand. Yeah. Okay. There's no words, right? You think words are the only way we can add healing? So the silent audio is packed with tons of prayers, infinity healings, but they're just silent. So you can literally blast it at work, blast it at night on loop, and it's there to protect you. And everyone should have received an email with that free audio, and you can just start sharing it and listening to it at all times. We've had people at like youth like prisons where like people started benefiting. We had people at psych wards where they were blasting it and benefiting people. Schools, right? So wherever we are, we can just have that blasting, and it activates your light body, clears any negative energies. There's portals we're finding with our clients, that there's portals where entities can come in and out. As long as we have a childhood trauma that hasn't been resolved, that's like a little opening in our auric field. Some of us have openings in our auric fields. Yeah, so many things. Some of us, things that our grandparents did, parents did, are negatively affecting us. Some of us, if you had a birth certificate, that's a whole dark energy ritual. There's a lot of governmental things that are connected to. It's like indirectly giving consent to, like, the governments are working with darker, they call them aliens, but they're really dark entities. And there was a whole deal that happened, and through the birth certificate, unfortunately, it was a way that we got co-opted to giving our sovereignty away. So you can literally revoke all those contracts. So my favorite prayer is, I revoke, and we can activate it now. I revoke all contracts that were made consciously or unconsciously, in a wake state, in a sleep state, in this lifetime, in all lifetimes, in all space-time dimensions, now and forever. If you'd like to receive that, just say yes. So I revoke any negative contracts, vows, agreements. I revoke any negative vows, contracts, agreements that are not for my highest good. If you'd like to receive that activation, that prayer, just say yes. Yes. Thanks, Bonnie. I was looking at your reaction and you were like, I was like, oh, let me rephrase. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. Beautiful. All right. Starting now, would you like an infinity healing to clear anything and everything that's in the way of you being able to receive the maximum during our activation today? Would you like an infinity healing to clear anything interfering with you letting go of the maximum today? Would you like an infinity healing to set aside anything within you, outside of you, that may be interfering with you with this activation today? And show all those parts what's going on from the highest perspective. And would you like an infinity healing to allow your being to connect with all the energies that are for your highest good, and give them permission to do all that they know to do that is for your highest good, starting now? And would you like an infinity healing to activate your Leo power your bold lioness, lion, to be bolder than ever, to have that heart anahata chakra, that heart activation, right? There's science behind the power of the heart. Heart Math Institute, that you can visualize a toroidal field, or like imagine an eaten apple and just see that energy circulating throughout you. That's going to keep your vitality high, your health high, your energy high. It's also going to be your protection. Would you like an infinity healing to have your energy protected, your boundaries activated, strengthened, physically, spiritually, energetically, all levels, in the astral, while you're sleeping, during your day? Yes, yes, yes. Would you like an infinity healing to have the courage, right? So feel the fear, but have the courage to still take inspired action. Would you like that? Yes, yes, yes. Would you like an infinity healing for your light body? Literally imagine a ball of light all around your body. And you can also imagine it now being activated, strengthened as a new default. Would you like that? And to get you attuned and aware and awakened to the fact that there is spiritual warfare happening, so that you can become aware of it when it happens, right? So it's not knowing that keeps us stuck. I call it innocent ignorance is killing us. So then the opposite of that is conscious awareness is saving us, or is, the solution. Would you like an infinity healing to cut any and all unhealthy cords, hooks, attachment, spells, black magic, evil eye, jealousy, envy? Would you like an infinity healing to reclaim your infinite freedom, empowerment, sovereignty? If there's any holes in our auric fields that are allowing less than love energies to slip in and out, would you like to seal that auric field? Any portals in our homes that are allowing less than love energies or entities in or out? Any black magic that's somehow negatively affecting us? Again, if you're listening to pop music, if you're watching TV, if you EMF, freaking internet, like smartphone, like phones, laptops, televisions, those are all black mirror. So you just got to put a little seal just with your seal the phone, seal the laptop, seal the television. Would you like an infinity healing for that? And automatically activating your astral protection at night. Only that which is for your highest good will happen. Would you like an infinity healing for that? Simply say yes. Your yes is like giving the thumbs up, right? Otherwise, nothing gets activated. And if at worst case you're in your sleep state, something that's not best for you is happening, would you like an infinity healing for your infinite self, is what I call it, your highest self, to snap you out back into awareness so that you can snap out of any nightmares? Because they do have technologies to freeze us. That's what's the term when you can't move? That thing that happens to us when we're having nightmares. So I notice the more I do this activation, literally within sleep paralysis. Thanks, Don. Sleep paralysis is when you can't move. That's an actual technology that they have. But reminder, no matter what has happened to us in the past, would you like to show all those parts of us, the wounded inner child? when the stuff happens worldwide, like what started happening in the last 4 or 5 years, that literally is targeted psychological warfare, spiritual warfare. It's like very strategic, targeted, hitting our inner child. Sometimes we're like, oh my God, I'm scared. But we're not scared. It's our inner child scared based on the fact that it forgot, it had experiences in the past where it wasn't in its divine authority. It didn't know it had boundaries. It didn't know it can say no. It is just stored trauma in the body that I'm not safe. I'm not secure. No one's here to help me, right? And then we're easily controlled from that animalistic fight or flight, survival, inner child, wounded trauma part. So would you like an infinity healing to integrate that part into the wholeness of who you are, so that you, no matter what happens externally, you're like, I remember who I am, right? Like throw me in a desert and I will thrive. No matter what comes my way, the spiritual warrior in me has my back, has my front, has all parts of me, and will get me through this. Would you like an infinity healing to remember who you are? Remember what this place is that we're in. Remember where we came from. Remember where is best for us to go back to, and remember the truth of what God is, what Source Universe is. Would you like that? Yes, yes, yes. And clear your mind from zero. Oh, yeah, finally. So, all these, I'm doing 8 specific activations. The program that I'm launching today, and I'll take 5 minutes to share it if you guys give me permission, is we're doing 8 mini activations. Each one of those is a module. So, it's an 8-week process. And each module has 100 infinity healing activations. So, you're looking at a total of 800 activations. We did like for each one. We did 2 or 3 today, just for you to know that there's so much more that I want to offer you. And finally, exiting the fear matrix. So, fear matrix is I want to do this, but I'm afraid. Matrix has you. But if you're like, I want to do this, I observe fear coming up, right? Like I have a tattoo that says faith over fear. That's the only difference is I feel the fear and I still say yes. I still take action. I don't let fear control my final sovereign decision. So, would you like an infinity healing to feel the fear, but find a way to override it with your heart, your soul, your spirit? Yes, yes, yes. Amazing, amazing. Man, I would just love to spend an hour with you guys, hear your stories about the entity stuff and I love information because when you have that info, you can learn more about these beings and you learn how to override their tricks. But the only thing I can say they're great at is they're the ultimate tricksters. But now that we know their strategies, we can outsmart them. And sometimes you don't have to be infinitely intelligent. I feel like my whole body, the sun's shining at me in a way where it looks like my light body's activated. But it's just the sun. Yeah. So please, guys, from the bottom of my heart, if this has been going on for you, as if you've been having experiences with this, like please question everything. I've gotten to the point where I'm like, I know nothing. And I've gotten to the point where someone's like, oh yeah, my guide. I'm like, how do you know they're your guide? Like, how do you know that guide is not a trickster? Like from a place of I know nothing, it's a humble place to be where it's like, I thought I knew everything. Then I remembered I didn't know anything. Then I thought I knew everything with the new.
Magyar tranquilo.
Sorry. So all I'm saying is, um, the the genie. Okay. Um, is that what you're saying, Simone? The genie started doing its version of light language. Okay, beautiful. So guys, permission, 5 minutes, share what we've got for you. If you wanted to take things to the next level, just give me a quick yes or no. The rock star are negative energy. Rock stars are possessed. Yeah. It's yeah, you want to thrive in this earthly world, in Hollywood, just give up your body, let an entity possess you, and then you become the superstar celebrity. But what they don't tell you about is what they have to do to keep their status, and that's a whole other rabbit hole. The more famous a person is, the more they have to consistently. It's like the mafia, right? Like entities are the real like the biggest mafias, and they're like, okay, you want to remain the number one celebrity, pay up. I want you to go to third world countries, and I want you to like, go to Ukraine, get us some kids, sacrifice the ones around you. Like there's always a pay up. Like they have to give up they have to do the worst things to maintain that celebrity status. So yeah, I just pray that that whole bubble just pops. No one cares anymore. Like I have this funny skit in my mind where it's like CNN or ABC News, and it's like, hi, today, and they're like trying to do their fear tactics, and then it's like, John, just stop talking. And it's like, why? And it's like, no one's listening. It's like the Wizard of Oz, right? Like when Dorothy turned the curtain and saw it was like a little small guy trying to. It's like no one listens. No, your fear tactics don't work anymore. Just give it up. No one's watching TV. No one's watching your um, fear mongering anymore. Um, okay, so please let us know, how did that feel for you? And I'm gonna do one hot seat. I did it again every single time, like Tarek. Less talking, more break, more hot seats, more. I get. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't drink cacao before the call. Maybe I should have some chamomile next time. Or I just need maybe someone on my team to be like, all right, Tarek, moving on. Next. How are you feeling after that activation? Clear your mind, 0 to 100. 100 means you're completely at your most divine activation, and 0 means you have a long way to go. Clear your mind. Let's just do a quick check in to see what actually shifted. Where were you before we did that group activation? Just letting your intuition do a summary percentage, 0 to 100. First number that pops up. Wow, I got collectively, I don't know if it was like 36 or 63. Yeah, let's just put it in the middle, 40. So remember that number, don't type it in. And then where are you at right now, April? Where are you at right now after that activation? First number that pops up, 0 to 100. Wow. Yeah, I got like 60 to like higher 80s. Yeah, 88, something like that. Okay. If you could put the two numbers back to back. Okay, we're getting, yeah, the numbers that I shared with you is like what I picked up as an average for all of us. So we went from 60 to high 80, let's say 60 to 90. That's a good 30% increase. So here we go. Someone went from Mariusz 20 to 50, 25 to 50, double. Amanda 20 to 52, amazing, more than double. Rain 30 to 80, amazing. Dory 44 to 88. I like the recurring numbers. Simone 88, double infinity, Lionsgate. I like it. Marianne 30 to 65. Ginny 74 to 85, amazing. Wow. Yeah, if I had more time, I swear to you, we'll get to like 99, 100%. What I'm feeling, 80, 90, not sure. Okay, no problem, Susan. So with the not sure, if you can guess, what would the first number be? We're way more intuitive. The people that say I'm not sure are the most intuitive people, like literally. Wow, Kiana, are you kidding me? 3 to 73. All right. Permission, if you could just give me, do I have your permission to take a few minutes to share what we've poured our hearts and souls into creating for you as a solution for anyone who has any sort of experiences with negative energies and entities? Do I have your permission to share that? And just take a look at those numbers, guys, in the chat. That's pretty amazing for like a 5-minute infinity healing. Those percentages are huge. That's phenomenal. Amazing. Okay, we're calling this the ultimate entity clearing program. That's the Aries in me. I'm like, if I'm going to create it, I want it to be the best program ever. So why is it the ultimate? Because there's nothing more powerful than Source God. And what the infinity healing does is it gives permission to Source God to do infinite things for you so you can be your infinite self. And so that's why there's nothing more powerful than the program, because there's nothing more powerful than infinity healing, because it is the most powerful force, doing everything possible, things you're aware of, things you're not aware of, to help you reclaim your infinite freedom, empowerment, and sovereignty. And here's what we got for you: the ultimate entity clearing program with myself and Vinolan. So Vinolan's one of the only infinity healers, master infinity healers, that I've trained with my modality. He does his own thing, but he specializes in entity clearing. So we got together. He's been doing that for years. It's his area of specialty. All the high level healers I work with, I send Vinolan to work with them, and is going to be blessing our stage in the next few minutes. Phenomenal. In a few minutes, he'll be like, okay, you've got, ancestral stuff, there's like ghosts, there's spirits, there's curse, there's black magic, there's like, he has a huge list. And today he might do a few of those hot seats just to confirm, but we're also going to send you guys in the link a breakthrough call where you can book that. But for now, the program, 8 modules, 100 activations each. You can listen to one every week. If you're ambitious, you can do it every, you can speed it up. They're around 45 minutes to an hour each. And so total is 800 infinity healing activations. We did like 10 today. Module 1 is activate the sovereign light body. Very important. Module 2 is spiritual warfare and sacred discernment. 3 is cutting any unhealthy attachments, cords, and energetic control. Trauma. Module 4 is healing all trauma, doorways, and any addictions. By the way, comfort is an addiction. It's actually the biggest addiction most people have. They're like, I'm comfortable where I'm at. That's actually a very big problem. Module 5, ancestral and institutional agreements. Very important. A lot of those slip through the cracks, and a lot of us are not aware of that. Black magic rituals and portals. Module 6, 100 activations for that. Module 7, clearing all astral afterlife sovereignty. I would say this alone, the fact that we've done in between life regressions with folks, and there was this one lady that said, I've been on earth 1,000 times. I was like, how many of those 1,000 times were you duped into coming back? Guess what she said? 1,000. Can you imagine 1,000 times a being pretending to be a being of light is like, oh, you kind of have to go back. You didn't finish your mission. You didn't clear your karma. You messed up over here. The earth needs you during its time of 1,000 years. It needs us. Like, is this the only game in town? Anyways, that's a whole. So we've for those of you interested, we train people in past life regression, powerful hypnosis, super simple technique. You can do it over a weekend and become certified at getting people into a deep hypnotic state where you regress them back into their in-between lives. If they've had any alien experiences, anything from childhood that they want to like become conscious of that happens subconsciously with these entities. They can go back to their ancestral past lives. We have a course that certifies you in between life regression, past life regression, future life progression. Let us know if you're interested. Just put hypnosis in the chat. And then we also train you guys in the infinity healing. And in the infinity healing, me and Vinolan got together with all our expertise. And we're like, this is the script that's going to help anyone, any healer become attuned to the infinity healing. There's an attunement you get, and then it's a full script of everything you can imagine to help someone clear all negative influences. So if anyone here doesn't just want to receive this program but wants to be certified in helping others in this area, we got your back. Just type in infinity in the comments. We'll send you a link to learn about the infinity healing technique. And you can use it on yourself and others. It actually then goes into the collective. So every time you're saying yes today, the infinity healing automatically helps impact the collective. And then finally, exit the fear matrix, reclaim the infinite power. Yes, we spent a lot of time on this. Yeah, Tarek, Vinolan in our warrior archetypes. And so I'll put this link here. I'll put it in the chat, and then we have it for only $197 today. Yeah, normally our programs are like 500 to 900. But for now, we have it for $197. And then, you can fill it up here. And for those of you that are like, you know what, I need that one-on-one support, I'll put one more link where you can just hop on a call with us and we can find out exactly what's going on. Like I was talking to someone the other day and they're like, it's been going on their whole lives and they've tried everything and nothing's working. I'm like, that needs an immediate one-on-one chat. Like, let's not let another day go by where you're held back. How do you know you're held back? Negative things keep happening. Whatever you're wanting, you're not able to experience. So the results we've had people have is like health, relationships get better, health gets better, energy gets better, empowerment, manifesting their goals, financial goals or career goals, spiritual frequency, all of that. So it's good, even if it's like every one of us, I feel, is on some level impacted by that. That's why we're on this call. And then these are all solutions. So the program is a solution. If you have any questions about it, just put it in the chat asking me a question. You're just listening to one audio once. and you're saying yes to each infinity healing, most people fall asleep during the recording. So I just say, I invite you to, as soon as you're listening to audio, say, let my highest self say yes to each one of these activations in case I fall asleep, because 90% of our clients fall asleep, which to me means their highest self is just is like completely setting them aside so that there's no interference to it. I think that's all I can come up with why everyone's falling asleep. Okay. And why? Why? This is the most important thing. If you care about your freedom, your sovereignty, your empowerment, and you want it to get to 100%, that's my why. I want us to get to 100% freedom, empowerment, sovereignty. I'm done. This is my last lifetime, never coming back. Want to make sure I'm doing, like, when my time comes, no regrets. I put out everything and I did it to the best. And these are every big problem I find. I've been doing 15 years of spiritual, investigative, intuitive research of what's going on behind the scenes here. Why are we stuck? What's going on? Like, as a kid, I wanted to be a prophet. I quietly thought to myself when our teacher said, "What do you want to do when you grow up?" I was like, just remembering the stories that I learned in religion class, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, and just that connecting us to the divine, helping us heal and reclaim our sovereignty, breaking free from the traps that the institutions have. Like, that's what the prophets were doing, like the miracles of transformation, all of that. Can't turn water into wine, but can help us alchemize. So turn lead into gold is what alchemy is, and it's like turning our traumas into our greatest gifts. That's what we can do together. So I love you. I appreciate you. Thanks for wanting more for yourself. And remember, what you do for you, you're doing it for your whole ancestral lineage. You're doing it for all your future generations. You're doing it for the collective. And that's all it takes. It starts with one person. You're literally rippling into your whole community. So if each one of us is like, imagine the globe, and every one of us is in a different part, we're creating this new grid of sovereignty, freedom, and empowerment. We're putting a stake energetically in the ground that we're on right now. And we're like, this is like, I am God's authority here on earth. I am love's representative here on earth. And even though it's filled with darkness and confusion and spiritual warfare, we're like, this place is now being reclaimed by love. That's how I describe it. But it does require us to step up and declare that. So thank you. Okay, so if you guys could just take a moment. I know we hear this so many times, 15 years of doing this, and people are like, oh, I didn't have time to hop on the call with you. And it's like, I've been wanting to do it. And it's like, oh, for years I've been wanting to hop on a call with you. I'm like, it's right there. So please take 5 seconds and just click on the Calendly link if you are someone who is wanting to explore what are the options that we can do with you in a one-on-one setting, in a group setting, to offer you the best value that we can. So this is only for someone who's like, hey, yeah, I can budget like some extra support. If you have nothing to budget, please enjoy this free call and our future and the free inner circle that I'll share with you later on. There's tons of free stuff. If you have no budget, enjoy the free stuff. 80% of what we charge for, we give away for free. But those who want that extra one-on-one support where all those big miracle transformations happen, use that link, the Calendly link, to hop on a call. So just take 30 seconds if you're interested, and I will welcome our next guest. And then if anyone has any questions about the program, please let me know. 1 audio once a week, and you're done. All right. And for those of you who purchased the VIP or the VVIP, please raise your hands or say yes. And at some point, our special guest, Vinolan Dragonart, can prioritize. You guys got the prioritized hot seats. And then we'll have Vinolan do that pretty quick into his chat after he introduces himself. But for those of you that don't know our special guest today, he is, again, like I said, our one of our master infinity healers, the only one on the team that I trust enough to help me when I'm experiencing any negative stuff, and my clients. Every time I send my clients to do a session with Vinolan, they're like, oh my God, who is this guy? Where did he come from? And he's so powerful. And just like a whole reset of their life, their energy, their home, their space, and the amount of things that you'd be so surprised how many things people who are already doing the spiritual work and are healers, and they still have so many things that sneak in to their fields and are negatively affecting them without them even knowing it. It's very important. I think just like our car gets an oil change, I feel like we all need to have a quick scan, and Vinolan's offering a handful of these scans today. So we'll put a link, same link that I shared with you guys is the same link that Vinolan, I think, is giving us a few free breakthroughs outside of this call, outside of the hot seats that we can do today. Yep, Vinolan is a multidimensional holder of sacred space to affect change that is for your highest good. He is well experienced in healing modalities like the infinity healing, grace healing, light language, and EFT. Vinolan also works with a high-level spirit team such as the Dragons. If you're not aware of the Dragon realm, we have allies in that realm, and has developed his own style of energy transmission called Dragonart Reiki. Without any further ado, I present to you Vinolan Dragonart. Please unmute yourself, brother. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you.
Hey, how's it going, bro? Hello, everyone. Can you guys hear me?
Good. Loud and clear, brother. Take it away.
Great. So, thanks for the intro. Just a little bit more about myself. I've been involved in a spiritual community for probably about 15 years, maybe from the early 2020s. Sorry, from the early 2000s. I'm really mixing up my time now. When I first got initiated into Reiki. And during that time, I was also quite affected by negative energies, by nightmares. I used to have a lot of these sleep paralysis entities that used to jump on me when I was in my room alone. And until one day I decided to actually fight back. So as is being sat on my chest, I made the conscious intention to turn my auric field into a spike, and I basically attacked this entity back, and it never bothered me again. But that really awoken something within my consciousness and within my mind to say that we are not helpless beings. We can take action against these spirits and these entities that just want to feed off our energy and expect us to be afraid all the time. So that's what I want to share with you guys today, that help is possible.
Amazing, brother. Thank you so much. And I can't wait to experience your group process. And maybe you can say what's an example of what someone gets when they hop on a free entity scan with you. What are you picking up? Some examples of what you're picking up, and what are some examples of how people feel after you do the entity clearing healing?
Well, we do follow a checklist that we go through. Essentially, we're going to check for any any detrimental energies that's in your energy field. So this can include thought forms that are leeching off your energy, human manifested thought forms. There's also what you would call spirits or ETs as well. Some of them really don't have the best for your interest. So we do have a scan for that to see whether it's around your energy field or whether it's actually attached to your physical body as well. What some of these beings like to do is they like to attach at certain points, either your energy centers, your chakras, or at your joints, especially where areas that you have been experiencing physical pain. They like to latch onto that, amplify the pain, and basically feed off your despair. Then during the scan, we would also check if there's any detrimental earth energies that's affecting. For example, maybe there's ley lines running underneath your house, or there is underground water. We do have a scan to see if that's there. If there's any other stuck energies in the house, we do have a look to see if that's also a factor that's affecting you. We do have a checklist to see if there's also any dark magic or spells, curses, that kind of a thing, and whether it's coming from this lifetime or the previous lifetimes where it's still carrying on throughout your lineage. That's more or less the long and short of it.
Amazing, brother. I appreciate it. And can you walk us through? Do you have a group process you can walk us through so we can experience a little bit about what you do, and then we can open it up for a few hot seats?
Yeah, I think we can do something where we will clear electromagnetic frequencies. So EMF is a big thing where everyone is exposed to from our laptops, from our cell phones. We are all experiencing a lot of things that we can't see, microwaves, radio waves. And it's only when you kind of lifted and sort of clear and shielded from these frequencies, then you actually realize how much of an assault your body is under, because most of the time, almost immediately, once the clearing is done, you're going to feel a big relief that's coming over your entire body. You might find that your mind is actually a lot more clearer and that you can actually focus on yourself. The thing is, Tarek, I do believe that we are constantly under attack. We are in a spiritual warfare. And a lot of the times, you don't really get a chance to really focus on yourself because of all of the external influences. So, shielding yourself, clearing yourself of these energies is essential so that you can actually start focusing on yourself and your own self development. Otherwise, it becomes a case where you're always fixing things that are not yours to fix. You're always getting drained. You always want to help other people, but it's never from your own overflow because uh, you kind of feel guilty if you don't help people. But at the end of the day, you got to take care of yourself first. You got to ensure that you are at 100% before you can actually help someone else, or you're just going to fall into a loop and a trap where you're opening yourself up to interferences. So I think everyone can just get into it now and all take a deep breath in. Exhale through the mouth, and you can close your eyes for a bit. And I'm going to set the intention, and please set the intention along with me to now create a sacred space and connect to source above. So imagine that there is a wonderful glowing ball of light. It's a lovely golden color that's now going to come in through the top of your head. It's filling up your brain, your skull, moving down your neck, down your shoulders, down your arms, moving down your spine, and just filling up your entire body. And moving out your legs. And as you connect to Mother Earth below, we're going to bring the energy from Mother Earth back up your feet, up your spine, and filling up the rest of your body now. Combining the energy within your heart space to connect with your own spirit. And that golden ball of light now forms within your heart, and that expands out through each and every one of your cells. And we're going to push out any and all detrimental energies that's in your auric field now related to electromagnetic frequencies, electromagnetic fields. Lifting clear, lifting clear, lifting clear. And I'm just going to bring in a light language transmission. So this is coming from my own higher self. Just to lift and clear that and to bring in only that which is for your highest good. So set your intention to bring in that which is for your highest good, to replace whatever is being removed. And in this case, it is the EMF. In this case, it is the effects of the EMF, any of that radiation to be removed now. So deep breath in, exhale through the mouth. Shatrakil harakarana tu ukurwa shatrabaila takilhatak ukshun rukushutrohit ki yarana trusutruashil harila. Ina shatrakanaku ukurwa satrapashil, ikiarku ukurwa skamaril. Ina shakarahar ushuturwa skapra atrakilatak. Daratu ukshun shatrakil. Oh, I let that energy clear, clear, clear. Okay, deep breath in. Exhale through the mouth. And gently bring yourself back. And notice how you feel now.
That was beautiful, brother. Thank you so much. I'm wondering if you're open to doing like a very basic scan for some of our participants.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you
We
so
can do
much.
some, yeah.
So first of all, thank you for Sarah for purchasing the VIP, Richi, Jay Gacy, Mohammed Gopi, Amy Kayama, Jasmine, all of you who purchased the VVIP. So any of you that I mentioned that purchased the VIP or the VVIP, could you please raise your hands, and we'll do a quick check-in to confirm if there is something or not. And less is more. Vinolan, they can always potentially book in a further, deeper thing with you. But everyone I mentioned who purchased those, we just want to give you guys priority for now. Maybe you're not here yet. Are any of you here that purchased? Did you guys all purchase and just not show up to the call? It happens, huh? Right? Good to see you, brother. Oh my God, you guys, we have a really special group here. Okay, so Trillium, is that your what's your birth name? Maybe you're one of the people. Did you purchase one of the packages? You did. What's your birth name? Can you put it in the chat? And just before I forget, everyone who shared interest in the Infinity Healing course, the hypnosis course, Petrushka, Michelle, Elizabeth, Anna, I private messaged you here with some information to hop on a call. Okay, Sarah, beautiful. So Sarah Vinolan is one of our special guests who purchased our program that we co-created together. Can't wait to hear from you, Sarah, what you experienced with this program. I also, as I was recording it with Vinolan, I was saying yes to all 800 activations, and I'm going to re-listen to it again in the next few weeks, and I'm expecting some huge miracles. So please unmute yourself and let us know if we have your permission for Vinolan to do a quick scan and give you some feedback.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm all right today. Yeah.
All right. No, cool. Just to connect you now. So what we're going to do is we're just going to see if there's any detrimental spirits on the property where you're living in at the moment. So just want to check. Okay, so currently I'm counting it around 7 detrimental spirits that's there. So if you got to give it a scale from 0 to -10, so it's going to be sitting at around a -5. Okay. So yeah, they just stay on the property. I don't feel that they're attached to your energy or to your physical body that I can sense here. Okay. There also is some detrimental earth energies. What am I picking up? Okay, there's some fault lines. It's there. And you do have some underground water. And yeah, I do not pick up any detrimental thought forms that's in your field. But that's, yeah, that's pretty much it. It's a pretty quick one.
Sarah, did that feel accurate? Is there a reason why you thought you might have had any influences?
Yeah, I thought it was gonna receive like a scan for myself and my family, and my property is another thing. But yeah, I think there are some dark energies that have been following through my lineage.
Well, we can confirm that real
yeah.
quick, Sarah. Vinolan, can
Yeah.
we confirm any ancestral, anything with the ancestral line?
Hmm.
And then the property, if you don't mind. Or
Okay, yeah, there's something on the ancestral line. Let me just see how many. Okay, there's 4 on the ancestral line. And when did that start? How many generations back? Yes, it's coming from 6 generations back. It's coming from 6 generations back. It really feels like some kind of a nasty thing where I just want to verify, was there any blood magic involved in this? Okay, yeah, this has something to do a lot with like some kind of a blood ritual or blood kind of magic, where this was involved.
Thanks, brother. And Sarah, you can always book in with. I'll put the link in if you want to spend. Vinolan's better when it's one person. There's a lot going on here in the call. But did you confirm already, Vinolan, about the property?
Yeah, the property, as I mentioned, there were 7.
Okay, that's right. That's
Yeah.
what you started with. Okay.
Yeah.
So solution. Book in.
Look,
Book. Yeah.
yeah, book in with the free call. Obviously, there's a more of a checklist. The checklist takes. Look, the call is about 15 minutes, and I normally use about the entire 15 minutes to actually have a quick scan to see what's going on there. So I don't think there'll be enough time to actually go through that now
Awesome.
for
Yeah,
one person.
it's such a thorough. I'm trying to find the notes here where I want to share an example of what Vinolan picks up on those 15-minute calls, but it's super thorough. I've never seen so many things that I'm like, oh, that never
Where-
thought to even check for that. Yeah,
And where's the link for his? I saw the link for a call.
it's the same one. It's the same one,
Okay.
Sarah. Yeah, I'll repost it, but for now, that's the same one, and we'll just mention you want it with Vinolan.
Okay.
Thank you, Sarah. I appreciate you and looking forward to hearing how the program goes, how the scan goes, all of that. Thanks for being here. Awesome.
Thanks, Eric.
Amazing. Thanks, Vinolan. Appreciate that. And then we have a room for one more. Jay is one of the guests that had purchased the upgrades. And if we can do one more quick scan again, Jay, we can send you the link and you can do a more thorough one with Vinolan. And please feel free to unmute yourself so we can see how we can best support you. And good to have you here. Appreciate you. So it's the mic on the bottom left, Jay. You're not seeing a mic on the bottom left? No, because your screen shows that it's still muted. So it has to be, try again. Yeah, there you go. Try talking.
Hello.
Hey, Jay. Thanks for being here. Is the desire to kind of get a quick reading on what's going on in terms of the spiritual realm, dark energies, things like that?
Yeah, all kinds of things. My Zoom picture just went blank. I can't see anything. And there's an alarm somewhere in my house that has gone off twice
Okay.
since.
Yeah. Paranormal activities. Those
Yeah.
Zoom entities, that's a very specific type of entity. They're specifically in Zoom. No, I'm kidding. Beautiful, Jay. Thanks for letting us know. And Vinolan, if you don't mind helping our brother here. And thanks for your investment in the program, Jay. Can't wait to hear how it impacts you.
How's it impacting me?
Can't
Is
wait
that-
to hear how the program, you just got it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So can't wait to hear how it positively impacts
yes,
you in the future. Yeah.
Great.
Hi, Jay. Let's just have a look. Okay. Roger, yeah, there seems to be like about 16 types of entities there. It's normally not such a large number, which led me to see how many portals you've got there that's around in the property and just kind of affecting. So what happens there is that these portals, they can open up, even people can open them up to extreme emotional stresses or just the general feeling of the energy in the area. But I'm counting that there's 5 detrimental portals that's there and just kind of leaching off these energies and these entities is coming through. As I mentioned, there's like 16 that's there. I'm also feeling a kind of attachment that's on you. It feels like the tentacle that's going throughout, especially in your throat. So if you have been experiencing uh, like a cough or like a tightness in the throat, especially when you speak to people, uh, yeah, it does feel like there's something that's there. Let me just have a quick look at everywhere else. Yeah, there also seems to be some kind of attachment there in your spleen area, just on in the bottom towards like your stomach and the spleen around that kind of an area.
Mhm.
Anything you're aware of, Jay, that's going on physically in that area?
Yeah, it feels like something doing somersaults in my second chakra. Um,
Okay.
And yeah, there also seems to be some kind of a shackle, but this is normally it's on both the feet, but this one is I'm just kind of picking up on your left ankle. So it literally just looks like a shackle that's there with a kind of a chain. Uh, and these kind of things, they can come from ancestral or past lives or even dark magic. Where's this one coming from? Yeah, this one's an ancestral kind of a binding that's there.
Sounds about right, Jay.
yeah, I don't know if the factors in, but I was the scapegoat of the family, so
Yeah. Yeah, I
black
remember.
sheep.
Yes, the black. Yeah, we're actually the wolves of the family. We got to reframe that. But yeah, Jay, I remember chatting with you, and feel free to, like honestly, Vinolan does great in one-on-ones, and yeah, it's a little more challenging when it's a bigger group. Rainbow Sheep, I like that, Simone. But Jay, we'll put the link in below, and if Vinolan, I'm pretty sure we didn't hit the max for him, but maybe you can book in a one-on-one with him, and he can better support you with that.
Any idea how to get my picture back of the Zoom? Because it's
Off the
on.
Zoom, yeah, yeah. All right. So
It's,
first of all, Jay, was that helpful for now? Did that help in any way?
yes, I
Yeah.
appreciate that. Thing.
Beautiful. Okay, so getting the video off. There you go. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Can we all send Vinolan a big energetic gratitude? Thank you for taking your time to share with us your activations. And Vinolan, before we welcome our final guest, any final activations, word of wisdom, anything you want to say about the program that we poured our hearts and souls into the last few weeks?
Uh, yeah, look, I think it's a great program. I mean, I already had feedback from one of the guys who I did work on, and he said, uh, yeah, he was really enjoying it. He could feel the clearing, he could feel the shifts. I mean, infinity healing is such a powerful modality. As you mentioned, it comes from source, God, universe. And look, I think just before I go, I just want to say that you have to remember that everything starts with your consent, and your consent is the most powerful thing in the universe. Do not give consent for any manipulation. Do not give consent for any control. And always make sure that you declare that you are your own sovereign being, that you are fully autonomous, and that you are fully in control. And yeah, take back your life, take back your power, call everything back to you now, so that you can step fully into going through with your life. So yeah, if this resonates, please sign up for the programs and allow us to help you to get your life back. Thank you.
Thank you, Vinolan. I appreciate you taking the time. Bless your heart. You're so great at what you do, and you're so humble about it too. Like you're like so I had to, like, for me it was a no, I had to shine more light on you because you're very humble with it, but you're very gifted and very powerful, and such a beautiful gift to like just scan, get the downloads, get the clarity what it is, and then have the abilities to help someone clear that. So that's the second part. The two easy options for you guys is the program. We made it super affordable. So I'll re-put the link below. And then one thing I didn't share is what people said about working with Vinolan and me, specifically around these areas. So it's in the same, I just put the link below for the program. So Amy is an amazing client. He scanned me, told me I had an any attachment that was detrimental and was suppressing my throat chakra. During the clearing, he said it was from 6 lifetimes ago. I've been working with her for a while, and we keep getting that it's something ancestral and from childhood and all that. He did his light language, and he changed my frequency to a frequency of 1,000. Since literally, it's funny. Last time I chatted with her, she was literally with actual Buddhist monks in Australia where she lives, who yeah, and they do these amazing healing paintings. So it's interesting that, I'm guessing the Buddhist monks are at a higher frequency than after she did that with you, she meets these monks. I can feel energy running through my throat chakra. My anxiety is almost non-existent, and I'm so clear in my energy, feeling very grounded and solid. So Iram, one of the best telesummit leaders, said this guy's the real deal. After my session and a few sessions with Tarek, things started shift quickly. Made 5K 15 minutes after talking to Tarek. She's on her way to hit 25K. We're just waiting. The difference I feel in my energy, clarity, and momentum has been incredible. Eric, less mental confusion, a lot more fully in my power, feeling loved and supported. The negative entities that were harassing me in different ways are almost completely gone. Amazing. So Vinolan, I think he still has more sessions with you. This person didn't want to share their name, but feeling scattered, unsettled, fear in my system, in my relationships, and through some sessions, reclaimed her power, a deeper sense of freedom and sovereignty. My relationships became stronger too. Yeah, Mariusz, who's here with us on the call. Thanks for sharing this, Mariusz. My digestion has improved. My life has simplified, and I connect to nature now. I feel a shift in my coherence, more present, more myself. My physical anxiety has gone. We had a client who literally said one of his exes, it was like recurring negative. It's like when you're going in a circle, reliving the same negative thing someone said or never negative experience you had. His ex from like a year ago put a spell on him, and he was going in these loops. I don't know if you guys are aware of that, but that's another way you can tell that these tricksters found their way to hook onto you. Thank you, Vinolan. Appreciate you, brother. And thank you for offering more time for some of the people to hop on calls with you. Appreciate that. And our next and final guest, Soul Bro, Rad Enlightenment, creates videos on how to awaken beyond the veil and the false self. If you guys haven't seen his YouTube videos, highly recommend you check it out. Spitting that truth consistently, and it hits home every time. He's a being who gives himself the truth, an author, an astrologer, a psychic. He works with clients to remove entities from their energy body and awakens their consciousness to the timeless truth. His main initiative is to awaken humanity to its highest level of consciousness, reached thus far, and begin to create the new earth. Rad, thank you so much for taking the time to bless us with your presence and with your wisdom and with your gifts.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So welcome. Please take it away.
So I would say what I was picking up on the last guest before me who was leading everything, when he said the word consent, this is what peaked in my consciousness, because we can start to affirm that we do not, like, even right now, if everyone were to verbally say, I do not consent to being overtaken, or I do not consent to being subjected to interference or programming or generational trauma, y'all would be surprised how much of an influence that is in your daily life. It's literally encoded in your being on a DNA level and deeply embedded into the consciousness, because you're taking on memories, programming, obligations, things that are not your own. So when you affirm it and you say, I do not consent to taking on something that's not original to me as consciousness or as a being of God, as a source being, it starts to change things. That's the first thing I want to say is while he was saying that, I started affirming these things to kind of send an energy to all of y'all. And it changed the structure a bit. And I want y'all to know that we are an internal being. The external is a mirage. So even I would say the in between of both is the body. Does that make sense? In between both the internal and the external, there's your body. And oftentimes I refer to that on the screen of consciousness. So these entities like to slip in between both. They like to get in between your any blind spot you might have. Let's say trauma from when you were a child, something you ignore or avoid, they slip in through that. Or something from another life you're not aware of, they can also keep hold of you for. I've had many clients. You can have something on you for 300 years, following you through a multitude of lives. It's actually, it's pretty, it makes you feel miserable to an extent, but that's just one phase of it. You can awaken past that dark sorrow because they want you in a sorrowful life. Because if you stay on a negative trajectory, it keeps inviting more and it lets them keep steering the wheel of your vehicle. And that's the body. So they influence and they take control and they take hold. But the question is how? This is the biggest thing to start with is how? When does it happen? It happens when you engage with the thought that puts you into a spiral. Like you said a moment ago, living the same pattern over and over again, that residual, perpetual loop. This is the entity's favorite theme. They love anger, shame, guilt, blame, manipulation. And the big word they have, their favorite thing, and this is how you can know it's an entity, projections. Their favorite thing is projections because they have to project something on you because it's not original to you. So if you're feeling a burden or you feel projections energetically, metaphysically, emotionally, that is the huge sign. It is for sure an entity. And I want y'all to know 99%, if not more, of humanity on this timeline and any timeline near us in the recent hundreds of years, entity interference, entity attachment, it's extremely common. I mean, you can't go to a mall, you can't go to a store, you can't go be around people, even if you consider them quote unquote family. It's all entity manipulation, entity possession, and they can be switched out. So this puts you at a disadvantage if you don't start to recognize those little in between moments, in between scenes when they change the next day, they're acting like a different individual, or they're holding you to all of these standards that are not fair or balanced. This is because they're trying to weigh you down and create more slippage. When there's more slippage, that actually lets them take more territory. And the territory in this case being your consciousness, which they depend on because that is the source light. So they don't have source light amongst themselves. The whole game here, the whole plot, the game, the structure, if you will, is for them to get as much as they can and to extend their, you can say life cycle, but it's not much of a life. It's more of, imagine a parasite basically. And these things are very real, very real. These devices they implant around you. I've had many clients who have entities, especially on the throat chakra. That's a big one. On the spine, because y'all got to realize the spine is the connection point to all the chakras. So they like to lock onto the spine or the throat because if they stop at the throat, everything on your lower body and your upper, like your channel, the crown chakra, your third eye, it gets shut down. If they block this, then there's no airway, literally, right? That's what we call it in the physical. It's the airway. So they're doing it energetically and physically. They're taking everything. So you're not connecting, you're not linking your powers. So they like to target here. And then you're also in that point, you're afraid to speak up against them. So those little moments where we back down and we keep meeting them and we keep taking those standards and those obligations, that's when I started a moment ago. That's when they slip in between the internal and the external. They slip in through those moments where we give them power. So it's important to not be angry with them always, but it's important to have discernment on when you have to cut your ties with them. Because if you don't, if you don't cut your ties with them, let me tell y'all, it can go on for hundreds of years. It can just keep going on. One of the main things I lead with in my YouTube videos is actually, why not sooner than today? because this pattern has been going on maybe for some of you 8 years, 25 years, if not much more. For me, that's sickening. It's very despicable if it's 100 years or 300 years, because it's just going to keep weighing you down and siphoning from you, and it wants that. This is what I want to really click with y'all today, especially, is that it wants that. It wants it to keep going on day to day, year to year, life to life. And it just needs you for today and tomorrow for that to happen. That's its initiation point. When you give in, a good thing for y'all to hear today is when you sign that contract with them, an internal belief, a gesture, you're giving into a memory cycle, something that's not original to you, something you had to conform to, the false identity, all of it, the thoughts that are not your own. That's signing a little contract. But that contract, here's the thing with English, casting spells. So contract means what also? We double it. Contract. You're contracting into a smaller version of yourself, right? We have expansion and contraction. So, you know, the word belittlement, they love to belittle you, by the way. Shame, guilt, these are all reptilian words. And that builds up anger and resistance and separation, which they thrive. The more separate you feel from your source, they thrive on it. So if you have any questions for me, we can go from there.
Raad, one of our guests was saying, why do they do that? Why do they do this?
It's the play. The source designed it that way. It's the play because, well, first of all, you are their source of life. You are paying them, right? You are literally giving them their monthly check. And for them, it's really a moment to moment fueling you're giving them every single time you go into it. So that's the point. Think about it like this. There's many species, creatures out there in on the physical plane that only exist with another physical body to consume off of, what we would call, you know, a parasite, basically. And that's the same thing an entity is. And, you know, he was saying earlier that someone had 16 and then someone had 7 before. And, you know, you have to understand there can easily be 10 to 20, 8, 12, very common numbers. It can be 3, 10. But here's the thing. That matters to an extent, but unless you catch it and get sharp and see really the moment where you're giving in, it doesn't matter if it's 100 or 1, because it's the same result. You see, the same result is what? You get tricked by the false light mechanism. This is how beings slip back into reincarnation. That's exactly what happens after you leave your body. It's happening every day in front of you with the mirage, the veil. And, you know, if you're just caught in the veil, then it's going to lead to that blind spot I was talking about where they slip through. So that's why it happens, because you have to be able to be the one that will dismantle the veil. You have to be able to drop it and let this disintegrate. It's your big test. We all have to be tested here. And your big test is to see how long does it take you to drop that veil? How long does it take you to spot the habitual cycle that's been going on for a very long time? Because it can just keep going on and on until you catch it. You got that laser source light. That laser source light has the ability to disintegrate as you integrate back into your true holistic, formless, infinite self. And that's what they're so desperate to convince you of. Another thing you said, they asked why. Well, the trick, the plot is to see how long do you believe you're just this body? Because if you flip, you invert into the duality, into the lower reality, their scheme is going to work on you for years, decades, probably centuries. You've got to revert and click reset and see that, you know, you're more than this body. Even as I'm moving, sometimes we need a little physical movement. That's one of the things I use as a practice sometimes, because I know I'm not this body. I am what is directing this body, the energy that is correlating from the source, almost as though you are speaking from the essence of God directly, but that can only happen with the clear channel. And, you know, for me, everything was opened in an enhanced, immediate way at a younger age, multiple years ago. And that's where everything started to come through. And there's not just confidence and clarity, but there's an immense solidification in the oneness with the source that brings us here. And that's your problem, any of you. If you are not connected consciously with that source, they got you. because they thrive when you're hyper fixated on individuality, right? Because that's that separation point. And that separator puts you into the module of the sufferer, the entity absorber, the ones that entities possess, you know? So that's really the main thing I want y'all to know is that no matter what happens, you're the one that's watching everything, and you can see the pattern eventually. You're not stupid. They want you to think you're stupid, or they want you to get caught in ignorance and think you're so great on a physical level. But you know what word we call that in true spirituality? Arrogance. And when ignorance and arrogance meet together, this is a very dangerous thing. This is where people get lost for hundreds of years. So consider this right now with us here, your check-in point to see, are you ready to actually click exit, or do you need a little bit more time to simmer in hell? Because that's hell. The third dimension, the old earth is hell, and the new earth is heaven. So you can create heaven on earth when you have a clear consciousness and you awaken your channel. So then you can co-create and merge into your actual purpose. And for me, there's no greater purpose than to leave this planet better than when we found it. Not just better, but substantially better. We don't talk about false history, false knowledge, demonic play, the rituals they perform on the consciousness. We talk about consciousness itself. We talk about the source, our true beginning, our infinite totality, all the potential, and then some.
Beautiful, brother. Susie Berry, thank you for your wisdom. It's really resonating. Susie says, what do you do if someone you're close to blames entities for their bad behavior?
That is a brilliant question. Watch their body language. Are they genuine with their words, or is there something, does it seem like there's something controlling them when they're saying that? Because it's just the entity talking through them then. Have they differentiated themselves from the entity? Or better yet, you know what, y'all? Are they actually any different than an entity? Is there a soul there? Is there source light there amongst itself? This is a major trick they like to pull on you from the beginning. I had it in my own life. 95% of the ones you would call family are just implants. So let's just put it in a light terminology for now, implants, and easily taken over. But if there's nothing there in the first place, I don't know how many of you have seen the movie The Matrix, but if there's nothing there in the first place, then it just slips in. The agent will slip in and take over. So if there's a soul there, it can still do that. Maybe there's a bit more of a fight for it to take over. That's what we know as someone giving up or getting caught in a simulation. But if there's nothing there, it's automatic for them to take over. Or if the soul or being is completely unconscious or overtaken or drained, then the entity can take over instantly. So to answer the question, what can you do if they are saying the entity is responsible for their behavior? Check out who they are. You can even, instead of just watching their body language, you can ask them directly, who are you? This is the most powerful question in spirituality. And for humanity, this is going to take us to that heaven on earth that I was talking to you all about, is when we start clarifying this one question. The one question they've done everything they can to have you ignore. Literally everything they can. They have externalized you and splintered you off. Each splinter, each fragment is to put you in a debilitated, weakened, unconscious, oblivious state, slipping further into the oblivion because you don't catch it. You have to catch it when you put on the costume, right? And basically you start to begin to only have eyes to see the physical plane and the third dimension. That's almost as though you're putting your spirit, your essence, your consciousness, your truth, you're putting it in the closet and locking it and letting them siphon from it at the same time. There's something under that's drifting into the lower realm where they belong. They're stuck there, by the way, on that lower plane. And when they're siphoning that, it's expanding their play for you and on others. This is why the collective consciousness has become a target, because we are, in fact, one in essence. And the more they can separate that, the more they can seemingly separate that and trick you, then it's just going to persist in this world. So it's important. We're looking for a certain amount of beings to wake up. So yeah, the real answer to that question is wake up beyond their play. If they're messing with you, then catch them, say, who are you? And if there's a being there and you're sitting in presence and you're more than your body, they're either going to match you or run and hide in the shadows. And that's for them. Whether they're an entity or not, it's for them. All you have to do is hold your ground. Otherwise, you give it up. And I'm not just talking about something simple here. It's a very complex and deep situation. Um, because like he said before me, imagine 16 of them overtaking ground, going in each room, you know, in your being, in your infinite space. They start to send things, projections, thoughts. And the big thing, if you want to ask me further, you can, is dream manipulation. They love to do things on that side because it has a lingering effect into the current day to day.
Yes. I remember being in a relationship. There's a lot of divide and conquer. I'm noticing in sacred unions when two powerful couples come together, there's a like almost a game plan to how to divide and conquer. And I remember waking up one day feeling like my partner was just so mad at me. And I immediately went into like, did something happen in the sleep state? She's like, yeah, you did like all these bad things. And then I was like, do you remember looking into my eyes? And she's like, yeah, and you look different. I'm like, so always check the eyes because they could photocopy the external, but they like a chat GBT photo, right? But the eyes are the windows to the
Yeah.
soul. And that's a good way to confirm. Seuss was asking, if you think a friend is doing horrible things because they're possessed, what can you do?
Is that a different question than the last one?
Um, no, sorry, that's the same one. Sorry. How am I supposed to know? Oh, here we go. Anastasia says, how am I supposed to know who these dark energies are and when they are present? I mean, surely we don't have to be afraid of everything.
No, I don't want you to be afraid of everything. There's a difference in fear and paranoia, and then discernment and awareness. These are completely different worlds, completely different aspects. So, fear and paranoia is an effect they want you to get caught in, but awareness and discernment is your more vast panoramic perception. And that's where you need to stay. So, if you're there, you're not going to fear it. If you notice fear coming up, that's just something they're projecting into your energy field. So, don't give in to the fear. That's also a choice. Remember earlier, consent. So don't consent to fear or projections or obligations that pull you into something that's a scheme. Because if you're interacting and engaging, it's an exchange. And that's when they start to morph and absorb and overtake a body. They can duplicate themselves, reptilians, and they can appear around you. They like to circle you. In my own case, that's what happened all through the younger years. They circle you with the same multiple individuals. It can be 8, it can be 5. I'm not talking about entities that attach only to you. I'm talking about a physical template of a supposed individual around you that causes torture in your life one way or another, internally and externally, and that's where they have full control. So fearing that is not going to help us, y'all. You don't want to fear it. You want to persevere against it. You want to hold your ground and know yourself beyond the body because they can't touch you here. They can only touch you here. This is where they can touch you. So you have to exchange yourself back, like I said earlier, revert. Or another word we have in the teaching of deep consciousness of true awakening is you have to you have to jump out of yourself. You have to leave that false self. You see, you have to be the one that breaks the pattern because no one else around you, I'm sure you all have noticed in your life, no one's going to break the pattern. They are all stuck there. But a few of you, for some reason, are able to obtain enough light and focus and sovereign energy to be able to focus and see what we're talking about here and pick up on things. And the more you can turn back, you see, you turned away from spirit and you turned only here, but now you need to subsequently turn your focus back into the presence. And when you do that, even as I said that, the presence fills the space anyway, but you're connecting with that spaciousness. And that's what they want to overtake because the more they put you in a smaller self, the more they lock you into a costume, false identity, the longer they're going to overtake you. So it's just about how much can we detach. In true spirituality, that's the word I was looking for a moment ago. Detachment. Everything I'm talking about, if we simplify it to its origin, to what we really have to do, detach. You have to detach from the mind, which is just what? Projections that are not your own. There's no fixed location for the mind. No one can come and hand you a mind. It's impossible. That's for a reason. The mind is an accumulation system of concepts, images, ideas, memories. And these images, these memories, they are manipulated and they torment you because they entangle with things that you believe actually happened and with the identity you believed yourself to be at the time, which, by the way, the identity is always changing for a reason because it's not stable or reliable. It's another reason to snap out of it and to wake up to your true self as consciousness. Am I making perfect sense here?
100%.
I mean, if we stay locked into that individual, then this can go on for centuries. It's very brutal stuff. So at a certain point, you have to pull yourself back and see your body. This is one of the main things I direct clients with. This is one of the main things I in all my videos is to create space to see the body. Even that one moment together can change everything because we see that we're one from the perspective of the viewer of the movie. We're all experiencing different movies of our life. And no one can prove to you your movie happened without you to be there first. Isn't it? Isn't that true? No one can prove to you that your movie experience has happened, your memories, your childhood, your the things that you are biased to or afraid of, the deep fears, the traumatic moments, the dreams, everything. There's no proof of it unless you're there for them to bring it to report it to, correct? So if that's the case, then you are the most important factor here. I'm not talking about the body. We even, you know what, y'all, we even say my body. So something is claiming the body. There's something already separate. So one of the first things when I started creating these videos, when Source started just naturally letting this occur, I started saying we have to create separation from the separation. You see what I'm saying? Because if you create separation from the separation, it's almost like you're negating that there was ever separation, isn't it? You see, because you're dropping the idea of separation and you're going back to only the one totality that's watching this body. Even as I say that right now, I feel an immense expansion happening. So, any of you that can pick up on that, just affirm it within yourself, affirm it in the chat, affirm it in any way. I would also say, like I said when I opened here about the last man who was speaking, uh, consent. So why don't you consent to freedom? Why don't you consent to merging into the source, into your infinite intelligence? Because that's what these entities, these vile entities, despicable creatures, gremlins, this is what they're desperate to do, to take you from that and into this. I promise you, I've seen it happen countless times. I could say thousands, but that's probably not even enough. Because it's moment to moment. It's these little trigger effects, these little wounds, these emotional cycles. And when you become cyclic with it, you get into that. What does the word cyclic have? Sick. So it's almost as though you become destroyed energetically. They take your spark, which is what they did actually to the inner child if you go back to the beginning of your life. And that's the pattern. So we got to break the pattern.
Amazing, amazing. Rad, if someone is experiencing an entity that's constantly, someone here was saying constantly there's an interference, any suggestions of like, are a lot of people in the New Age go, we send these beings to the light, or affirming, I reclaim my infinite power, sovereignty, freedom is one of the things I like to do. Any suggestions on a day-to-day? Some people think if you just burn sage, all is good. Any advice on that? And if anyone has questions, please raise your hands. We'll unmute you if Rad's taking more questions.
Yeah. So it's funny when you said that we send them to the light, because the source told me immediately through my crystalline channel that if they say send them to the light, it's almost as though you're repeating the pattern. Let's give them more light. You see, if they belong only to the darkness, they'll never merge into the light. There's a lot of creatures that will be stuck on that lower plane and they're not making the shift. Not everyone will make the shift. Let's be clear about that. There's false spirituality out there that says, no, they're all going to return because they all come from the source. Well, yes, they're all appearing within the source, this consciousness, but they're not all for the source. They're not all going to end up back in that purity. They're there to play their part and they will disappear once you transcend fear, once you transcend the false self. So, yeah, lighting incense, lighting incense, sending them to the light. These things, I would say, more importantly, is to differentiate yourself from your body, because their prerogative is to keep you in the physical identity. I can say it a million times over because it's the truth, and I'll only tell you the truth. Is that they want you in the physical identity, in judgment and the opinions of others, and worried about if you're saying something wrong or if you're thinking something wrong, because you question your abilities. But if you can stay strong with your consciousness and your intuition and know that something higher is speaking through you, then you will be in tune with your higher power. And that's what they want to defer you from. They want to deter you from that higher power.
Thank you. Susan, it seems like you have a question from Rad's last answer. Can you unmute yourself and ask it? It sounds like if the person who's possessed that she's dealing with, and if you were saying confront, like say your name, but the person's already being sneaky and lying, and they're not going to say their name or something like that. It's not getting to the root. And Shrin, congratulations on purchasing the program. Can't wait to hear how that shifts your life. Does that make sense, Rad? If they're already possessed and you're like, say your name, and they're like, oh, really? It's me.
So make it more clear for me. Tell me a little slower.
Remember earlier, Suze was saying she has someone she's trying to confront and they're blaming the entity. And then we talked about the solution being like, if you kind of put the light on them and say like, hey, who are you really? That then the entity would reveal itself.
Yes.
Yeah. And so now she's saying, but what if the person being possessed is just going to say, really, it's me? Like the entity's not admitting that they're there. Like, how do you empower Suze to empower her? How do you empower Suze to not have this entity affect her through the friend, or even one step further to help clear it off the friend? Suze, if you can unmute yourself, we can get direct questions. But yeah,
I mean, if they are so angry, or they are so busy projecting things on anyone, then it shows that they have an ulterior motive, because it's always about you. It's because they're appearing in your story. So you have to see that they're just a part in the play, and they're trying to make you apart from yourself to separate you. So, for this question, what do you do in this circumstance when they keep deferring and they keep making excuses? Forget about it. Let it go. Let them go. Because send them something, a video, or give them a book. I don't know. Help them in some way that will let them in their own way awaken if they're meant to. And if not, if it keeps repeating just where they're projecting on you, 100% chance entity manipulation, entity interference. Do not second guess it. They want you to second guess it, by the way, because that's what I told you 5 minutes ago about doubting the intuition. So you have to don't give them too much compassion. You have to not be compassionate to the ego mind, to the demented self. Don't give compassion to that, because it's almost as though it's a demon and you're doing this to it. You're being gentle with it. Well, what is that going to do? Is that going to make the demon stop being vicious or torturing you? No. It's going to make them think they can hold more of your ground. It's going to make them think and know that you're still not fully on to them. You see, so that's really answering her question there. Is if they think that they can still win you over with those little petty projections, oh, it's me. Well, that's their test to see, can they still win you over? Are you still oblivious? Do you still have a blind spot, like I was talking about in the beginning? Because that's when they slip back through and take more ground and delay. They really love delaying, because and I'm sure y'all have noticed in your own awakening, the more they can delay you, the more they can lead you astray, the more they can take another day. That's really what they want.
Thank you. I changed the settings so that you guys can unmute yourselves. Rad, you have more time for one more. Suze, I think, is trying to unmute herself to ask the question. And then,
Yeah.
Go for it, Suze.
Thank you for doing that. Yeah, I'm so basically um my brother is suffering from an addiction, and I'm pretty sure that that addiction is perpetuated because he's possessed by something, and I'm not really sure how it is or how to deal with it, but I can't exactly just cut him off because he's my brother. So I don't really know how
Mm.
to do that, to kind of get him to go into rehab or something like that.
Can you give a little bit more details, even like 20% about the situation?
Yeah, so like, well, he's schizophrenic, so like I'm pretty, but like it's very difficult to know what part of his attitudes are caused by his mental health problems, what part of it is caused by drug addiction, and what part of it might be caused by entities being involved. Like I started being aware of kind of entity kind of work um back in 2015 when I started doing Reiki, and I can see where entities can cause people to have loops and so on. But it's kind of like when I do Reiki work, I try to make somebody strong enough internally that the entities don't want to latch on. Um, but yeah,
Let
with
me
him,
stop you there. Let me tell
I've
you, let me
not.
tell, let me tell you what's coming through is
Mm,
you said either drugs, the negative thoughts you said, right? And what was the third thing? The mental illness,
yeah.
the mental case. Okay. Source told me immediately, so clear. Sometimes it's actually a bit crazy how clear it is. They're one and the same. Let's not split them off from an entity. You see, if we
Mm,
start saying, well, this drug and then this concept of a mental situation are all different, then it's almost more of those fragments that I was talking to you about. But if we start to see,
mm,
if we get back to the root of the problem, which really is what? It's being immersed too deeply in the realm of torture, the dark projections, and hell, and the false identity. It's all really the same situation. And each link that you're talking about, they stem from the same poison. So we have to
mm,
get to the root, or you're going to be chopping off branches that are toxic that just keep growing. You see? So we can go the next 10 years and do this a slow way that the world will show you. And you're going to be doing this, and maybe you fix two things, but another two or three come back over here. You see? It's infinite
mm,
because actually it can go on for infinity because they're siphoning from an infinite source. You see?
yeah.
So you have to get down to the link of where they first attach. That's why I believe the work we're doing here today and what we're speaking about will become the narrative and will be in front of what we focus on in spirituality for a while here because it's so prevalent, it's so prominent, everyone is overtaken with entity influence. I have not myself witnessed one being, more than maybe one, and at most I would say in your whole life you'll witness up to this point in our the timeline we've experienced. I would say you've probably witnessed less than three that are actually like holistic, like awakened, or at least pure enough to where they're not being messed with. You see what I'm saying? So
Mm,
everyone, it's so common. We have to normalize it before we can fix it. You see, we have to make it. We have to adjust our consciousness to it and see that this has been going on for a long time. And if you look at each war in the world, if you look at each demented program, right? If you look at the greed or the anger, the volatility, the unreliability of the ego, the identity, it's all on shaky ground because it's all coming from the same, I will just say demiurge. I'm not sure how common, how,
mm,
how much all of you know about that phrase, the demiurge, but when I speak about it on my YouTube channel, I say it's the literally the demonic urge, demiurge. And that means it's that lower desire to aspire, and what they transpire to do is to pull you into agony, confliction, confrontation, identity, and also in your case be weary of this obligations, burden, guilt. Maybe you feel guilty for some reason, or you feel like you owe something. Well, to an extent, yes, and what you said about not abandoning, I mean, that's your prerogative, that's your extent of free will is that. But I would tell you that at a certain point in my own case, I had to experience this. Cutting the ties can actually help you regain more of a connection to source even if it's temporarily. It doesn't have to be, and this is very common in an awakening being when it's going fully immersing into the consciousness, to take a break at least, to go, they call it like a spiritual retreat, but we can also call it you're having a retreat back into your true self. And maybe you need a month of solitude or a few weeks of dropping away this play, right? Because if you're constantly holding up the weight and the burden, the density of the third dimensional play, then it's just going to keep going. That's why it's so important to create that space, like I said a while ago, and detach from this mirage, because it will just keep going on and on and on. You see? That's why we need to create space, discernment, and see where the problem is. And maybe the problem is in when you engage with it a little too much. It's almost as though you are also supplying it a certain fuel. You need to be very detached to see this and be unbiased to an extent, because your body, the ego might see that's impossible. I'm doing everything I can to help. You see, but on an innocent level, on a pure level, maybe you're giving a lot of light to this, and what you need to do is give light to the truth. And if it's a soul there that you're dealing with, who you're worried about, then if you come from a place of truth, from pure awareness, then you'll only help.
Mm. Yeah, thank you.
But you have to lead by example.
Was that helpful, Suze?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for your question. Yeah, it's very tricky when we love someone. It's like the hardest thing for an empath to go, I'm cutting ties with this person, like letting go of the attachment, like you said, and not feeding, right? Because a lot of us are such empaths. We're so easy to manipulate and go, okay, I'm going to give all my energy to this person, but maybe indirectly it's feeding the entity. So how can we ferociously love ourselves to put healthy boundaries? And a red flag is when we care about someone more than they care about themselves. That's an easy one for the entity, right? Because then it's like, oh, cool, free energy. I mean, this
For
person
sure.
I'm possessing doesn't care to clear me. He wants me around, or she wants me around. But so then do I love myself enough to go, okay, I tried a few times, this person is not receiving my support, I'm putting a block. Yeah, so we give them a chance, 2 chances, 3 chances, we help them empower themselves.
And what is that? It's just more externalization.
Right.
What are you doing? You're interacting, like I was just saying a moment ago. You're interacting with it. You're fueling it, the play, the script, to keep messing around. It's just a scheme. It's not real. You see, so that's why unplugging from the simulation is so important, because it's almost as though you are entering a simulated reality each time you behave with that entity, each time you morph into their objects, their projections, and their opinions on you. You're taking on the form they want you to. You're conforming to their idea of you. And when that happens, it's not just a very sad moment for the spirit, but it's also you letting them take over the territory. You're letting them take your ground, take your being, take control of the mind, and potentially, in the worst cases, the body. And I've seen it all in sessions, the things I've dealt with. And one thing they do is they take hostage your psychic abilities. It's very dangerous, because you are a psychic being. You are a spiritual being having a physical experience. It's just the physical experience has taken hold of all that you are and made you forget. And they make a play on that. They keep you in confrontation and worry, or in the case of the individual that I just spoke to previously, in worry, in sustaining, trying to fix the situation. You become the fixer and the worrier. And it's almost as though you're not just carrying a burden, but then you're conforming to the identity that situation needs. And the problem with that is oftentimes an entity will lock you into it, and they'll hold you into that for a whole life. And that's where they easily pull you back to another one, you see. So we got to stop it here and now. It's very serious stuff. For a while, there was a comment recently on my most recent podcast appearance, and someone said, because I said we have to be serious for a while, and they said, these are not words of truth because I said that. But that's misunderstanding what I'm saying. I am saying be serious for now, because the entities count on you not taking it serious, because that just means you're going to get pulled off with the wind. You're going to get pulled off with the projections, and you're just another object for them to use on the stage of life. Meanwhile, simultaneously, you're forgetting that you are the awareness of the stage of life, and that's what they want. They want to make you the smaller self. Right. And they're all actors. Let's not forget that. The entities, they play their role perfectly. and they can shapeshift into any costume, into any individual. No one is spared around you. Almost no one is spared around you. I want to be clear with y'all about that. And someone might fear that. They might they might make you think, oh, be paranoid. No. If you're coming at it from awareness, from detached from the body, you can be very spacious and watch their behavior and do your own energy scan. Do your, see through their plot, through their mirage, through their play. And then you don't have to stay in that lower suffering pattern day to day. You can actually start to really click out of it and go into a different reality. That's where we start integrating into the new earth. Wonderful things will happen. Wonderful things. But first, to drop away the useless density, the things that have drained us for decades and centuries, to be honest, we have to do what I'm talking about right now, which is create space from the body. And then subsequently, you're creating space from the entities. And that's bringing you back to freedom.
Beautiful, beautiful. My heritage is Lebanese. I'm not sure about you, Raad, but my
Yes,
dad.
that's where I'm calling from right now.
Amazing. Let's send some love to Lebanon and that beautiful land and the beautiful people there. One of the most beautiful, humble, hospitable people that I've ever interacted with. Obviously best food on the planet. But dad's Lebanese, and he would just say hamar, which just means donkey. It's such an insult. And after I did all this healing, like every time I would see him, he would just say that one word and it would crush me. And it's like his trauma, his entities feeding off of me. And then when I did the work to remember who I was, he would say that. And it's like that scene from The Matrix where Neo puts his hand out and all the bullets just fall. It's like when you remember who you are, you stop feeding these characters that come into your life with these power struggles, because you're like, no, I know who I am. And I think I just responded with something like that: everything you say and do is a reflection of the inner you. And I just laughed about it. So I like what you said about seriousness, because it's like, take them seriously, because the greatest trick the devil ever proved was showing the world that he never existed. And so also in the new age, ChatGPT gaslights the shit out of me the whole time we were creating this program. It's like so-called entities, which are really people's shadows. I'm like, no, chat, I'm talking about actual entities. Don't try that. So you're right about that. But then taking the lightness, I remember these things that when I was a kid, they would be this big trauma response I would have, and now I would just laugh about it. I think that's a good remedy to not take it serious in that moment, because when you're aware that it's an entity and you're just kind of laughing about it, it doesn't feed it. It's like, no, I need you to get pissed off and triggered. So that's the benefit of doing work with Raad, me, Vinolan, because then the things that normally suck your energy dry, you're just like, nope, not happening this time. Because you remembered who you were, you put the boundaries up, you love yourself enough, you're not playing that game anymore, you're off that hamster wheel. And that's what we're bringing to the table. Raad, if someone, I put all your links here below, please follow his YouTube. Like I follow a lot of people, and it's rare that I meet someone that everything's hitting home, everything feels like it's channeled, and it's like increasing my level of awareness. Not saying I know everything, but 15 years of deep studying, and it's beautiful to have a refreshing energy coming in. So if people have experiences with entities, there was someone here, I think Erica, you were saying constant entity interference. How can they best reach you? What are some things they can expect after working with you?
Well, I got 2 or 3 things I can say about that right now. For now, they can email me. I think you put the email in the chat, right? radenlightenment@gmail.com.
Yeah, it's right
That's
there.
the best way to speak with me. And they can see my YouTube channel. This is where I put the most in-depth videos. And on TikTok and Instagram, I have videos also that reach a different kind of audience. It's a different template of videos, a bit more quick. But on all those platforms. And also another way, if you want to take this further from my lens of perception, my direction I go at this from, which is really from the source directly. Also, you can, in about 9 days from now, actually, I'm having a gathering similar to this, and you can email me or go to my YouTube channel and see the videos, and it's very easy to join.
Online gathering?
Yes.
Oh,
Just
all right.
very similar to this.
Beautiful. Amazing. Rad, thank you so much for blessing us with your time, your wisdom, your energy, and giving us an opportunity to end this cycle. Let that you, like you said, it might have happened, has been going on our whole lives. There's a scene in The Matrix, I don't know if you remember it, where Neo speaks to the game designer and he goes, "This is our fifth time creating the simulation." Do you remember that scene? The guy with the white hair?
Yes.
So that hit me because it's like each
The architect.
the architect, thank you. Each reset, they've basically mastered how can we extract the maximum amount of energy from people. And it's like they've mastered getting better and better each reset. Every time we increase our awareness, our enlightenment right now, we're like, let's say we fast forward in our evolution and they don't have any way of extracting energy from us. Apparently, based on my research and based on that movie, it's saying when we get to that point, they reset us so that they find a better way to manipulate us. I'm curious to know, one, do you believe in these 5 resets, that they're getting better and better each time? He says something about when they're covert and in our faces, like worship us, we're the demigods. Out of fear, they try to force it on us, we rebel back. But when it's that's overt. When it's covert, when it's hidden, and it's like the new age is almost like it was never forced on us as a religion, but it kind of slipped in, and we were like, with our free will, we're choosing it, but it was really kind of pushed on us. So one, how do you feel we can, if they, do you believe that these cycles have happened many times, these resets, and if we're in the middle of another reset now, how do you feel we break that reset? How do we break that from happening, where we then start from kindergarten working our way back up to where we are now?
By wising up. And I don't mean wising up from the mind or the body. You have to wise up from the consciousness, which means to see the difference in yourself and the body and mind. You see, so what every awakened being did, including Jesus, including many others, they start to literally live beyond the body. So one of the things I advertise, one of the things that I lead by is sustain being more than your body. Let's not just go for an OBE, out of body experience. Let's not train ourselves in just that residual pattern. Let's sustain being out of the body as much as possible so we can get used to more spaciousness, being more interconnected with the other realms, which I have had the privilege of living while being here, experiencing the other places, other kinds of space, visions, going beyond this space and time. This is your birthright, and they've taken it from you. Very serious stuff if you think about it, you see, because these are powerful things. There's a reason they want you to hand over your power and take up this costume in return. That's the deal, by the way. Does it sound like a good deal for you? No. Unless you're very spiritually and emotionally immature. Some beings are still on that level, and they can continue on that old earth of karma, and they'll probably disappear from your life. If you've had people in the last few years disappear suddenly from your life, the last 5 years or so, 75% chance, if not more, that they actually have just left their role. They have no place anymore in your life, not because they just aren't in your life and they're living their own life, but because they've actually dissipated from the life experience. They're no longer there to play their role. You see what I'm saying? Because they belong to that older timeline of you and you've left it. So it's very subtle stuff. Could you remind me one more time of the last question you asked?
Breaking the cycle. So you said wise, like increasing our wisdom and not playing in this game, being aware of the infinite realms and exploring more collectively. Yeah, like if they hit the reset button, I've heard that actually affects our level of consciousness, that it drops us back to like kindergarten consciousness. And my biggest worry is the one thing I'm worried about is us having false hope, like this time we can break the cycle. But it's like, if they have an ability to just reset us each time, imagine each time we put so much energy into creating a revolution of spiritual awakening, and we go through that increasing, and then they somehow have this ability just to reset us. I don't know how exactly that works, but I don't want to be equipped with false hope that this time we'll get it right. Like I genuinely want to know, how do we break that cycle and not fall for the loops that we've supposedly done 4 or 5 times already, being Atlantis and all those other times of golden ages and things like that.
You have to not dip your foot back into the poison of the demiurge. Sometimes we want to go back and play. I've seen many, even myself, a while ago. Maybe we have a foot in both worlds. This is bad because you start to not just get mixed with temptation, but you also start getting into what? Fragmentation, another simulation. Then you plug into this simulation. Then you get manipulated in these dreams. And then before you know it, all of your progress, all of your momentum was dropped. So this completely reflects what you were just asking me about the reset point, because that's a reset right there. So all they need is for, a certain amount of beings to forget themselves and they can reset it. So with Atlantis, we can talk for 1 minute about that. What happened, and it's very important because we're having an extremely similar experience right now. We're at this point between the darkness and the light. They went into the direction of dark experiments, manipulating energy, and not, they had many more psychic abilities than we do right now, but they tarnished them. They used them for very negative things, selfish things, only physical. The problem with that is almost as though, again, like I said in the beginning when I was speaking with all of you, you start turning away from the spirit when you only zoom into the physical. It's very purposeful implant program there, because there's a false spirituality out there that says, well, this body is here and we're here to experience this body. But I never said you're not here to experience this body. You see what I'm saying? So I'm very glad Source just gave me this to tell you today. The thing about the demons, the entities, they'll put words in your mouth. I want you all to, if you take anything from what I said, top 3 things would be this. They put words in your mouth. Because that's an example. Like if someone said, well, he is saying to you, ignore your body. I never said that. The body will actually thrive and enhance with abilities like they had in Atlantis. They were able to teleport. They had telepathy. They didn't need a telephone. They had telepathy. They could speak instantaneously from any space because they had these abilities. We're all linked to the same consciousness. It's just this entity has taken over since then. The reptilians have made a play on the separation and the getting fixated and absorbed into the realm of appearances that we've forgotten, you see. So the reset point, what you're asking, it happens every single day when we submit ourselves back to forgetfulness. But you have the power to transmute that and instantaneously reset yourself again back into truth. But I don't want you to just keep going back and forth. There's a natural oscillation that happens. You understand what the word oscillation means, correct?
Yeah,
So,
back and forth.
yes, we sway. So we do this and we go back and forth, and that's normal. You know what, y'all? That's okay. You can go through that for a year, for some months, even a few years. But let's not waste the whole life doing that. At a certain point, you even have to see the oscillation, see that's appearing in my greater self. Even as I said that, I know some of you picked up on it because I sense it through my channel. That's an immediate snap out of it moment, and it burns away the illusion, and you're creating an immense space. This is actually the gift of God. Those little moments is the magic of the source. And that's what, with Atlantis, they lost it. We've lost it since then because the karma was that humanity lost their psychic abilities. Look what they did with it. They were creating species that shouldn't have been created, making them fight against each other. What does that sound like for entertainment now in an arena? What do we watch all the time? It's very, I'm not saying everything is toxic in the world. I don't want anyone to think I'm saying that, but I'm telling you, there's a certain similarity, a replica. They replicate things, and it all started. Each myth, each creation, each pattern started from a certain regimen, a certain theme of darkness, and it's just about what? Physical implication, physical temptation, and physical identity. And one thing I say very much so in my videos, and I would like to close this with, unless you have any more questions, is the word identity implies an I entity. So your I am, the presence of God that I'm speaking about, starts to drop into the entity, the realm of entities, and you get mixed. And when you get mixed, it's almost as though the distortion becomes unbearable. And when it becomes unbearable and you decide to click exit, that's what we know as true spiritual awakening. So you have to get out of the identity is the reason I told you that, because your I am gets mixed with the false identity, and that's where entities take hold of your I am. You see, it's all in the words, and it's also all in front of you. So see the body and create space, and let's work on this. You have to train yourself because they wired you to only be physical. That rational mind program of the old earth, it's about the most demonic thing I know, one of them. Now, some people in false spirituality will say, oh, it's just protecting you, that part of your mind. Well, if you're awakening to the truth at a certain point, it's just there to sabotage you. In my experience, I've seen thousands of times, because someone can be right at the precipice, the verge of peak awakening, and the mind puts a little thing in front of them that makes them drift back. And what you said a minute ago, reset. So that reset thing from that movie that you're talking about, when they reset the demiurge, they reset the simulation or whatever for the collective consciousness, that only happens for the ones that are still pulled into that diabolical mind of false promises. How many promises have people broken to you? Can you give me an answer if you have one? You can't count. It's immeasurable. And how many promises have you broken? Let's be honest here with ourselves, myself included. Many promises, but that's because we're not here to be the carrier and holder of promises that are made in a temporary, ever-changing, unstable reality. You have to stabilize yourself from here, and then your words are a promise of truth enough to where that's actually going to carry enough beings that are in your, let's just say, soul family, or let's just say your timeless connection to the source. They're a representation of that. Some of us here, I'm sure you experienced in your lives, it's not all negative. We've had beings that represent more of an angel, right? And there are ones who obviously definitely represent demons, for sure, in what we would call extended family and also immediate family. But then there's also the other side where the source, the other side is you have an angel with you in the in the non-physical, on the other side, watching right here with you, but then also in your physical life that are here with you. It's not all bad. One way or another, you have support. And even if it is me, even if it is someone guiding you, it's a gesture from the source. It's a very merciful God. That's why they call Jesus the angel of mercy. You see, because when you start living through that, and I am not a Christian, I get uh, an immeasurable amount of comments online from that program of being a Christian. But you know what? Jesus is not a Christian. Jesus was not a Christian. This is a program that the demiurge created. So we have to really start to drop away these labels. Because if you uphold the fact that I am this, what does that sound like? It's your I am morphing again, like I said a minute ago. I am a Christian. Well, then you take on that mask. And then what about all the things that they've contracted? Remember, I told you earlier, contracting. You contract into that religion, which for me, 95% of religion is just a demiurge speaking. It's just literally just roaming through them. It keeps them, they think they're defending God, but they're actually speaking for the devil. That's the thing about religion. And I know, most of you, at least most of you, understand what I'm saying. So take everything that was given to you today, use what is most necessary, but most importantly, don't use it from just the body identity. Use it as the consciousness that's around you in this space, that's watching your space, that's aware of your life experience. Even when you go to a dream, the perceiver, the one watching this life, is still in that dream watching that, and you come back here. So that's the you I want to know. I want to see, like you said earlier about the eyes. And we have very infinite potential here. So even right now, I can see, and if someone switches in their eyes and they go deeper into that perception, I can sense it. We sense these things, the subtlety, your true subtle self, where we are one. It's the same self. That's the premise of spirituality, and that's the whole point of awakening, for us to actually get back to that oneness. And that is, consider those beings, each being who lives there. That's what will create each pillar of the new earth.
Beautiful, brother. Thank you so much for your time, energy. Can we all send Rad a bunch of love and gratitude and blessings? Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, bro. You had a astrology sign on your arm. Is that your
Yes,
sun sign?
Leo.
Leo, son. When's your birthday?
It's actually today. It just turned into it.
Oh, happy birthday! Can we all send him birthday blessings? Wow. Leo King, Habibi, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Please celebrate, please receive, replenish, because I know I have a soft spot for Leos. You guys give so much and ask for little in return. So please let those that love you fill you up and bless you and take care of you. Thank you for your time.
I will. Thank you.
Yeah, to be continued.
For sure.
All right. Beautiful. Yeah, guys, thank you so much for co-creating this amazing call. I appreciate you taking the time to be here. I mean, there's still 40 of you here. Someone said they tried to purchase the program and they weren't able to. So I've re-put the link, and some people were saying the links were not showing up. So I just put them. Please confirm if you can see. One of the links is for the program. No brainer, guys. 197, 800 activations, all dedicated to all things entity. And then replay of this call and a bunch of and a breakthrough with Vinolan, and then the breakthrough link again, whether you want to chat with me so I can help you in your life with life purpose, abundance, all those things, manifesting whatever you're desiring, or if you want to get a scan with Vinolan, that link's there. But just a heads up, because me and Vinolan have a limited time. I just saw my email flooded with breakthroughs. We're gonna have someone on my team actually call you guys and confirm. Like we're gonna, if you use that link, if you actually want to do something about it. In the past, we would spend like 10, like let's say 20 people booked calls. 10 of those calls would just be like, yeah, you know, I struggled with this my whole life, and it's affecting me in all these ways. And we go, well, you know, here's a solution. We can book in some sessions. They're like, sorry, I don't have any money. For those of you that just $0 that you're able to invest, please just rewatch this. We're gifting you guys in the email sequences a whole module 1 with 100 infinity healing activations just there. Silent, we sent you guys the silent one. We're sending you all this free stuff. Please keep that breakthrough link for those of you who actually not just want to know if you have entities or are negatively affected, but want to actually do something about it, which means investing in some sessions with me or Vinolan. And just let us know, what is your biggest takeaway? What stuck out from you from all the things that we spoke about? What was this worth your time today? What was your biggest takeaway? Did we deliver? And what did you like the most? Simone, I started my life in August too, though not in the Leo sign. Okay, cool. So what was right before Leo? Cancer, right? Very interesting. Many thanks. You're welcome, Natha. April, thank you so much. You're so welcome. Wow, I didn't even know it was his birthday. We got the 88 Lionsgate Portal, and something told me literally 4 days ago or 3 days ago to reach out to Ride and ask if he can bless us. And truly old fashioned, last minute, he showed up and blessed us. Gail, thank you, Tarek, for holding the space today. Much love and blessings to you. You're very welcome. Mariusz, connecting to the consciousness. You like that part, right? Yeah. I wrote a note here. I created, just like I sent you guys a silent audio for entity clearing, I have a silent one that increases your frequency, vibration, and consciousness. That Tesla said, when you learn those 3 things, you discover the secrets of the universe: consciousness, vibration, frequency. And it's a silent audio that literally continuously increases your vibration, frequency, and consciousness. And you get unstuck from those loops. So as soon as I find it, I'm going to upload it on my YouTube channel and gift it to you guys. Much unconditional love and blessings. Thanks, Jean. Simone. No, Virgo. Really? Virgo's right before Leo? No. Oh. Thank you for today. Anastasia, you're welcome. Kat, still processing, but best investment. I'm so happy to hear that. Ginny, I can't wait to hear what the entity program is going to be for you. I'm literally going to start journaling today, and I'm just going to track all the things that shift. It's just a way of knowing how it impacts you. Virgo, oh right, end of this month, right after Leo, we ground all that fire with some Virgo. Thank God. Amazing call, activations, clearings, lots of information. Thank you, Ginny. I mean, you're very welcome. And yeah, love my Virgos. You guys are so grounding. You help create structure in a very flowy world, flowy community, airy community. It's like bringing it back here. My Virgo's rising. Christina, thank you. You're very welcome. Mariana, you're welcome. Mariusz, you're welcome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's conclude with that Leo anthem to reactivate us. Feel free to move around. Let's move the energy. Let's stand up. Let's move and conclude with a powerful. Oh yeah, I was gonna share this scene. So there's a bit. If you guys watch the movie Revolver, and where I'm just worried is gonna stop the internet from working. I already feel like it's glitching, but maybe I'll send it in the email because it shows you how this gangster who represents, let's say, like Satan, and there's the main character here who gets enlightened. I knew that was going to happen. I'm not going to share it. I'll share it in the email. Love you guys. Please unmute yourselves and say your final words. And thank you so much. Appreciate you guys. It's time. It's not, it's the internet here in Costa Rica is really delicate. It's not the entities. We can't blame them for everything. Actually, blaming entities is actually giving anything you blame politicians, entities, they want you to do that because that's how you give your power away. So even if it is entities, I take full responsibility is something they don't want you to say. I take full responsibility. Let's conclude with 3 affirmations. I reclaim, let's say it together. I reclaim my infinite power. I reclaim my infinite freedom. I reclaim my infinite sovereignty right now. Let's say it again. I reclaim my infinite power. I reclaim my infinite freedom. I reclaim my infinite sovereignty right now. One last time, power of 3. Yeah, I like that, Erica, hand on heart. I reclaim my infinite power. I reclaim my infinite freedom. I reclaim my infinite sovereignty right now in all space, time, and dimensions. Thank you for being here. Thank you for creating all these ripples just from you showing up today. Thank you for saying yes to this. Thank you for wanting more for yourself, and we'll continue building. I love you guys. Thank you for being a part of this. I appreciate you. I'll see you on the next one. Next up, we got the Soul Mission Mastery for all you healers and entrepreneurs who want to hit 100K or 10K in record speed. We're going to dedicate. It's the last Saturday of this month, the 30th of August. We'll send you guys emails. Soul Mission Mastery. We're going to focus on the heart, which is blocking us from receiving clients, receiving money, receiving support, receiving value. And my goal is to help all of us fully align with our life purpose, get our gifts out there, and thrive financially and on all levels. And we're going to do that. We're going to dedicate that and get some amazing speakers. So stay tuned for that. Love you guys.